Lu Qingyu roared, and it was obvious that, like all the people of the undead clan, he had a deep prejudice against Long Chun. The undead clan didn't like the human race, and Lu Ruyan was even more alienated from the undead clan because of the human race, and she didn't hesitate to go against Lu Changtian's will. In this way, Long Chun became the culprit, and the strong men of the undead clan naturally hoped that Lu Qingyu would severely punish Long Chun and vent his anger. After Lu Qingyu roared, the whole audience burst into cheers, and the whistling sound was like waves. Lu Ruyan and Chu Yao's hearts tightened in an instant. The two looked at each other and saw the sadness in each other's eyes. In the undead clan, they had no sense of belonging at all. Perhaps in the entire undead clan, only Master Shihua treated them better. However, even if Master Shihua took care of them everywhere, Lu Ruyan still couldn't feel the warmth of her mother. It was not that Master Shihua didn't give it to her, but that she herself didn't understand what she wanted. Now seeing the whole audience cheering for Lu Qingyu, at that moment, Lu Ruyan and Chu Yao were extremely sad. Lu Ruyan was the saddest because these were all her people. Mala next door, if I don't tell you to shut up today, I won't be called Long San. Seeing the whole audience cheering, this was obviously a demonstration against Long Chun. How could Long Chun bear this? Ha! Long Chun took a step forward and came directly to the ring, 10 feet away from Lu Qingyu. When Long Chun appeared, the whole audience suddenly quieted down. Long Chun. When Long Chun stepped onto the ring, a woman among the spectators couldn't help but sweat for him. This woman was Hua Yushan. She never thought that things would develop to this point. Long Chun, you go ahead and show your strongest strength. Today I will make you lose sincerely and let you know what absolute strength is. The great immortal race is not something that a small human like you can rely on by conspiracy and trickery. After you lose, I will not take your life. I just need you to cancel your engagement with Ruyan and give her freedom. Lu Qingyu shouted loudly. Facing this Lu Qingyu, Long Chun was too lazy to say more nonsense and said coldly, "Small human race? Rely on. What a big tone. Just tell me if you dare to agree?" Lu Qingyu sneered. Long Chun said disdainfully, "Such childish provocations should be avoided. Ruyan and I love each other and we have never sought anything from each other. Forget it, I am too lazy to explain to you guys who have no humanity and only have wooden heads. It's too tiring. I tell you clearly that the marriage contract is sacred and cannot be desecrated. How can it be used as a bet? You mean you dare not bet?" Lu Qingyu didn't understand what Long Chun said at all. He only knew that Long Chun didn't dare. "Idiot, you don't understand human words. Besides, even if you bet, you need corresponding chips, right? If you lose, I want Lu Changtian to admit his mistake and apologize to me. Can you do it?" Long Chun said coldly. Long Chun called Lu Changtian by his name. This sentence immediately angered all the strong men of the undead clan, and Lu Qingyu went berserk instantly. Boom! The vision behind Lu Qingyu opened up. The Emperor's flame burned, 13 dragon veins were bathed in flames, and the violent air waves swept across the heavens in an instant. Boom! A sharp breath locked onto Long Chun in an instant. The pressure this time was many times stronger than yesterday. He shouted angrily, "Ignorant human! The undead clan is not a place for you to be presumptuous. You will pay the price for your stupidity. I am invincible under the human emperor, 1 for 1 above the human emperor. Who is stupid? Let's see the truth with our hands." Purple dragon battle body, open. Long Chun spread out his arms, his voice like the roar of a god, shaking the stars in the sky and trembling. Boom! With Long Chen's angry shout, the ring trembled violently. The ring under Long Chen's feet had spiderweb-like cracks, which spread rapidly and instantly covered the entire ring. What? Seeing this scene, the strong men of the undead clan were shocked. At this time, Long Chen's body was covered with purple scales and bathed in purple divine light. Behind him, the 8-color divine ring was flowing. Inside the divine ring, a huge figure could be seen swimming faintly, and the sacred aura swept across the heavens and the worlds. Unlike Lu Qingyu, Long Chen's aura was not violently released, but only circulated within a few feet of his body. Judging from the scale of the aura flow, Lu Qingyu's aura was thousands of times his. But as long as he was a strong man of that level, he would know that Long Chen compressed his aura to the extreme, without any waste, which would cause such a scene. What shocked Lord Shihua and those strong men in the Queen of Gods was that this time, Long Chen did not summon the ancient bronze tripod, but relied on the vision to resist Lu Qingyu's Emperor Miao pressure. Although Long Chen is not an Emperor Miao, Lu Qingyu's violent aura cannot shake him at all. Lu Qingyu's aura is like a raging wave, constantly washing the world, but Long Chen is as steady as a rock, not affected at all. He actually held back that day? Countless strong men who had seen the battle yesterday were shocked. It seems that Long Chen did not try his best yesterday. A bunch of frogs at the bottom of the well, with more arrogant than athlete's foot. Today I will let you see how the so-called small human race once stood at the top of all races. Long Chen roared. Boom! He moved his feet, and the arena collapsed in half. He slapped out with a palm, and a cross appeared in the palm, and slapped it fiercely at Lu Qingyu. This move. When seeing the cross on Long Chen's palm, Lord Shihua was moved. Ignorant fool, no matter what kind of magical power you have no capital to be arrogant in front of my undead race. Lu Qingyu was ridiculed, roared, and slapped out with a palm. The moment he slapped out with his palm, the imperial flames rose from his palm, and 13 dragon veins gathered in his palm at the same time. Boom! The two palms faced each other, and there was a loud bang. People saw a huge cross rising from Long Chen's palm, directly blasting Lu Qingyu's big hand and hitting him hard. Puff! The huge cross hit Lu Qingyu, and Lu Qingyu's body exploded. The cross did not stop and hit the ring hard, and the entire ring was slapped into nothingness. The huge ring was left with only a broken corner. In that corner, only the part below the knees of Lu Qingyu remained there. At that moment, the whole audience was dead silent. They looked at Long Chen in the void, with long hair flying and purple air wrapped around him, as if he was possessed by the Dragon Emperor, and their eyes were full of horror. Even Chu Yao and Lu Ruyan were stunned. At this time, Long Chen's dragon blood power was many times stronger than that time. What they didn't know was that Long Chen at that time was using an ordinary dragon blood battle body, but Long Chen at this time, he directly burned the dragon blood. The power must be different, and the most important thing is that Long Chen, in his rage, directly used the Emperor Blood Seal. The strong men of the undead clan couldn't believe their eyes. Lu Qingyu was defeated by a single move, leaving only a pair of feet on the ring. Although he didn't die, he was severely injured and had no strength to fight. Ha! Long Chen stretched out his hand, pointed at the viewing platform, looked around, and said coldly, "The 10th ranked has already lost. What about the top 9? Come out together. I'm going to beat 10 of them today." As soon as Long Chen said this, the whole audience was in an uproar. Asshole! Looking for death. Too arrogant. Is he going to challenge the entire undead clan? As soon as Long Chen said this, the young generation of undead clan warriors were instantly shocked. Where had they seen such an arrogant person? Chu Yao and Lu Ruyan saw this scene, and both couldn't help laughing until tears came to their eyes. As a woman, when a man goes crazy for her, it is the most handsome moment for this man. Whether it's a round-robin battle or going all together, I, Long Chen, will use my power to tell you what it means to be invincible under the human emperor. Long Chen's arrogant voice spread across the battlefield again. Arrogant. At this moment, Lu Qingyu, who had already repaired his body, roared angrily, and pounced on Long Chen like a flash of lightning. Get out of here, defeated general. You are no longer qualified to challenge me. Pa! Long Chen slapped Lu Qingyu in the face and slapped him directly out. Lu Qingyu was severely injured by the blow, and his breath dropped rapidly. Long Chen's blow was the Emperor Blood Seal, and the destructive power was not just on the surface. The damage was continuous. This was because Lu Qingyu had the super strong repair power of the undead clan. If he was a flesh and blood body, he would have died dozens of times. But even if Lu Qingyu didn't die, Long Chen's blow would take him a lot of time to recover. Now he was so weak that he still attacked Long Chen, which was humiliating himself. Lu Qingyu was slapped out of the ring by Long Chen. At this time, the ring had been repaired and was as good as new. Long Chen stood in the center of the ring, looking around, and his fighting spirit soared to the sky. The top 9 masters on the Emperor Seed list were also present. They were full of anger and wanted to deal with Long Chen immediately. But if so many people came on stage, wouldn't it be too much of a compliment to Long Chen? Wouldn't it become a big joke at that time? For a moment, everyone didn't know whether to make a move or not, and they all looked at Lord Shihua. Lord Shihua looked at Long Chen, who was full of fighting spirit, and then looked at Chu Yao and Ruyan, who were hugging and crying, and couldn't help but be stunned. Is this the love they talk about? When she saw Long Chen for the first time, she felt that Long Chen was a person with unfathomable strength and must have many cards on his body. From Long Chen's eyes, she could see wisdom, tenacity, and persistence. She knew that although Long Chen was young, he had the majesty and courage of a long-term superior, and was a person who valued both wisdom and strength. When she saw Long Chen, her first reaction was that Long Chen's engagement with Lu Ruyan was just a deal, a trap. Long Chen's target should be the undead clan, and he wanted to get benefits from the undead clan through Lu Ruyan. However, when Long Chen faced Lu Ruyan's heartbroken eyes and attacked Lu Qingyu, the furious killing intent was not pretended. Did I really see it wrong? When Master Shihua was looking at Long Chen in a daze, 9 people had already stood up, and the young disciples of the undead clan had already burst into cheers like a tsunami. These 9 people, 5 men and 4 women, were exactly the top 9 on the undead clan's Emperor Seed list. Although they stood up at this time, they did not go on the field, and they were also very embarrassed. It was absolutely impossible for them to go together, let alone fight in a round-robin manner. Otherwise victory would be a huge joke or a shame for the undead clan. Long Chen's attack was indeed terrifying, but it cannot be said that Lu Qingyu had no chance of winning. Lu Qingyu was a little too arrogant. If he did not attack against attack, but used the defense that the undead clan was best at, he might not be unable to defend against this move. The absolute defense of the undead clan is their strongest weapon. They only have one chance to defeat Long Chen and avenge their previous shame, so the people who play are very important. They can't be ranked too high or too low, because if they are ranked too high, such as the first place, even if they defeat Long Chen, they won't be very glorious, because Long Chen is not the Emperor Miao at all. If they rank too low, if they lose to Long Chen again, they will be finished. Do they have to play a third game? Wouldn't that be a round-robin battle? For a while, the 9 people couldn't make up their minds who would be the best to play. They could only wait for the order of Master Shihua. Master Shihua took his eyes away from Long Chen at this time, looked at the 9 people, and said in a voice that only the 9 of them could hear, "Don't humiliate yourself. None of you are his opponent. Under the human emperor, he is indeed invincible." How is it possible? The 9 people were all shocked when they heard it, and at the same time they were full of dissatisfaction in their hearts. Lord Shihua said, "You are not his opponent for 3 reasons. The first is that your Emperor Miao Qi only has form but no substance. At most, it can crush the will. However, this trick is ineffective against Long Chen. You have also seen that he is not afraid of the confrontation of will. The advantage of Emperor Miao is invalid. The second is that before the human emperor realm, except for the human race, all of us foreign races are constrained by the human form and cannot exert the true strength of our body. Only by crossing the great barrier of the human emperor realm can you exert your strongest strength. Fighting against the human race in this realm, you are already at a great disadvantage. Even if we don't have an advantage, relying on our own strength, vast vitality, and endless magical powers, we can wear him down to death." A man couldn't help but said. Lady Shihua ignored him and continued, "The third one. This person has too many hidden cards, and he is extremely experienced in combat. There is no flaw in his moves. You are still too young to compete with him. He will not give you a chance to fight. No matter who fights him, the battle will end in a few moves. At this point, Lady Xihua sighed. She did not want to attack them, but if she did not attack them and let them go on the field, they would suffer a greater blow. The tripod that Long Chun showed at the beginning still made her tremble with fear. She was not sure whether it was the legendary existence. If it was, then Long Chen's origin would be extraordinary. She did not mention the matter of the tripod to Lu Chongtian because she could not be sure and could only observe slowly. Moreover, when Long Chun killed the old man of the Daluo Qinglian clan, the mysterious ancient vine with black lightning, wrapped around his body, made even her feel a little trembling with fear. The main reason why she came here was that she was afraid that Long Chun would kill the disciples of the undead clan in a rage. In that case, things might develop to an uncontrollable point. Fortunately, even in his rage, Long Chun did not really kill. She could see that Long Chun had some reservations in his attack. When he hit Lu Qingyu, he temporarily withdrew some of his strength. Obviously, he was afraid of killing Lu Qingyu with one blow. In fact, the reason why Long Chun showed mercy was that Lu Qingyu did not have the intention to kill when he attacked. In other words, he only wanted to defeat Long Chun, not to kill him. If he wanted to kill Long Chun would not care about the consequences and would kill him with one blow. I don't believe it. I'll fight him. The woman who ranked third on the Emperor Seed list gritted her teeth and walked directly onto the stage. It's Lu Rujiao. When the woman came on stage, the disciples of the undead clan were extremely excited. Lu Rujiao, ranked third on the Emperor Seedling list, her strength is unfathomable. It is rumored that she has awakened the chaos magical power. Maybe we can see it today. Someone shouted excitedly. The top 10 masters of the Emperor Seedling power are kept secret. Today we can finally open our eyes. Stupid human race, I wonder how long he can be arrogant this time. I'll see if his mouth will be so hard later. When Lu Rujiao came on stage, the whole audience was boiling. Everyone's eyes were focused on her. The tense atmosphere swept the whole audience. However, Lu Ruyan and Chu Yao were no longer nervous at this time. They knew Long Chen's character. He was not a person who liked to talk big. Lu Rujiao, come and learn from me. When Lu Rujiao came on stage, she actually bowed slightly to Long Chun, and then prepared to make seals with both hands. At this time, her face was full of seriousness, and she regarded Long Chun as a strong opponent. Lu Rujiao's action immediately made Long Chun feel a little embarrassed to continue being arrogant. After all, she had saluted, so Long Chun couldn't be too rude. He clasped his hands together. Lord Xihua said that I am not your opponent. I don't accept it. I am also an ascender from the lower realm. I have experienced endless life and death duels and have come to my current position step by step. In a battle with me, I hope you can use all your strength. It doesn't matter if you kill me accidentally, because I will also attack with the intention of killing you, because only in this way can I exert all my strength. Lu Rujiao looked at Long Chun and said coldly. From the moment Lu Rujiao walked onto the stage, Long Chun felt the bloody aura on her body. Obviously, Lu Rujiao was different from Lu Qingyu. She was a real strong person. The real strong people were not good at fighting. They would kill the opponent as soon as they made a move. If they just stopped at a certain point, they could not exert their true strength at all. Therefore, Lu Rujiao pointed it out first. In that case, I will be really rude. Long Chun bent his knees slightly, arched his back slightly, and the purple dragon fighting body appeared again, radiating a sharp aura. Even if I die, I will fight with all my strength. Lu Rujiao shouted coldly. 13 dragon veins flew, and the strange vision behind her stretched out. Endless willow branches flew, covering the sky. As the willow branches flew, the imperial aura fell like a waterfall. When seeing this posture, the Emperor Miao strongmen smiled. People who are familiar with Lu Rujiao know that Lu Rujiao will fight Long Chun with absolute defense. This is Lu Rujiao's strongest point. When she enters absolute defense, even Lu Mingho, who ranks first, can't do anything to her. He can only fight her. His origin power is stronger than Lu Rujiao, so he can defeat her. In terms of attack power, Lu Rujiao can only rank 5th at most, but in terms of defense, she is second only to Lu Mingho. Lu Mingho defeated Lu Rujiao because of his vast origin power, and Long Chun is just a human. How much origin power can he have? Can he outlast Lu Rujiao? At first, they were worried that Lu Rujiao would choose to attack because she wanted to win. Now that they saw Lu Rujiao in a defensive posture, they didn't believe that Long Chun could defeat Lu Rujiao before his original power was exhausted. When you take a defensive posture, you have already lost because you are not sure of victory, so you take such a posture. Long Chun said lightly, "Who is Long Chun?" From the fluctuations of her breath, you can see her routine. "This is my strongest defensive posture, but there are endless killing moves. Once you fall into the trap, you will be doomed. Don't blame me for not reminding you." Lu Rujiao was not moved at all and said coldly. Long Chun nodded. "Since you said so, let's see the real thing with your hands." Buzz! Long Chun moved, like a flash of lightning, rushing towards Lu Rujiao. Chi chi chi. As soon as Long Chun's body moved, willow branches stabbed at Long Chun like sharp swords, and the sharp willow branches actually pierced through the ring that was thousands of miles thick. This indiscriminate attack was basically impenetrable, with no escape or evasion possible. It was like thousands of threads that sealed the sky and the earth, blocking all of Long Chun's routes forward. Moreover, this attack covered the entire arena in an instant, and the overwhelming force was simply despairing. Cloud Dragon Claw. Long Chun shouted and shouted, and with one claw, countless willow branches were shattered, forming a huge passage. Long Chun followed the passage and killed Lu Rujiao in an instant. However, seeing Long Chun coming, Lu Rujiao was not panicked at all. She snorted coldly, and her figure flashed. 8 figures separated from her body and rushed to the 8 corners of the ring. "This trick is useless to me." Long Chun had already bullied Lu Rujiao and grabbed her with one claw in the air. However, at the same time that Long Chun attacked Lu Rujiao, 8 attacks from the 8 corners of the ring were shot at Long Chun at the same time. 9 figures are all my original bodies. You can only destroy 1/9 of my power by killing them, and you have to face the simultaneous attacks of the other 8 original bodies. Lu Rujiao shouted coldly, and at the same time, she formed seals with both hands, and the willow branches crossed in front of her to form a shield. Lu Rujiao was extremely careful. Even in this situation, she still chose the most conservative way of fighting and was reluctant to abandon a single body. Emperor Blood Seal. With Long Chen's cold shout, the shields were pierced by Long Chen's palm. In front of Long Chen's attack, Lu Rujiao's shield was like paper. Boom! However, at this moment Lu Rujiao's 8 attacks had already killed Long Chen's back. But Long Chun ignored it and slapped Lu Rujiao's face in front of him. Pa! However, Lu Rujiao's head was not broken. Long Chun slapped her face with a palm, and white flames rose. Lu Rujiao was instantly frozen. Ice Soul Divine Flame? When seeing this scene, Lord Shihua was surprised and recognized the origin of this flame. However, although Long Chun hit Lu Rujiao first, Lu Rujiao's other attacks had already whistled in. 8 divine lights composed of earth fire flames rushed towards Long Chun, but at the moment they were about to hit Long Chun, all the divine flames actually avoided Long Chun and rushed to the side. How could this happen? Someone exclaimed. I understand. Long Chun did not destroy Lu Rujiao's body because he guessed that her attack would not attack him. Someone guessed the reason. Excuse me. When Long Chun avoided the domineering attack, there was a loud bang, and the frozen Lu Rujiao turned into ice chips in an instant. When Lu Rujiao turned into ice chips, the bodies of the other original bodies trembled at the same time, and at this time, Long Chun had already pounced on the figure closest to him like a flash of lightning. No, Lu Rujiao's move was broken. Someone screamed. Buzz! However, Long Chen's pounce was empty. Lu Rujiao actually retracted all her bodies and merged into one in the first time. A deep pit was left at the place where the clone was. As soon as Long Chun pounced there, the deep pit suddenly exploded, and endless willow branches shot out from the ground, swallowing Long Chun in an instant. Trap? Long Chun was shocked. This Lu Rujiao had some skills. This attack came too suddenly. Even Long Chun did not expect it. At the moment when the willow branches underground just wrapped Long Chun, hundreds of millions of branches poured down from the 9 heavens, forming a giant cocoon with a radius of 10,000 miles in an instant. This move was also used by Huai Yushan. It was one of the strongest moves of the Immortal clan. Once trapped, they would enter a war of attrition. It's over. Lu Rujiao snorted coldly, and her hands formed seals. The endless branches tightened rapidly. The 13 dragon veins wrapped the giant cocoon like a seal. Not only that, even the power of the Emperor Miao was injected into it without reservation. Surrender, otherwise, you will be strangled alive. Lu Rujiao shouted loudly. She had absolute confidence in this move. She had already won. Who is weaker, the sun or the moon? The solitary yin cannot be born, and the solitary yang cannot grow. When the yin and yang are in harmony, all things return to their destination. At this moment, Long Chen's voice came out from the giant cocoon, like the whisper of a god, resounding throughout the audience. Then everyone felt the terrifying burning breath. Endless flame runes appeared between heaven and earth, and endless energy was gathering towards the giant cocoon. Pop! At this moment, a crisp sound was heard, and then the giant cocoon expanded rapidly at a speed visible to the naked eye. Boom! In the horrified eyes of countless people, the giant cocoon exploded. How is this possible? The strong men of the undead clan couldn't believe their eyes. This move is one of the strongest moves of the undead clan. Once bound, unless the opponent's strength is more than 10 times stronger than Lu Rujiao, there is no way to break free. Long Chun is also a heavenly saint. His strength is definitely not that much higher than Lu Rujiao, but Long Chun broke through Lu Rujiao's strongest magical power. Endless willow branches were blown up and turned into powder, flying all over the sky. Long Chun stood in the smoke and dust, still snapping his fingers. Around his wrist, the fire of the moon and the sun intertwined. From that small space, the scene of the sun and the moon could be seen faintly. Huolinger, your progress really makes your brother ashamed. Long Chun looked at the sun and the moon on his wrist and couldn't help sighing. This little guy is really too smart. Long Chun hasn't fully understood his father's teachings to him, but Huolinger has already walked ahead of him. The fire of the sun and the fire of the moon intersected, and the strange phenomena changed, and the strange phenomena of the sun and the moon appeared. The most important thing is that the fire of the moon and the fire of the sun, condensed but not dispersed, were quickly retracted at the moment of bursting the giant cocoon, and there was no waste of power. This shows that Huolinger's control of this move has reached the point of being able to do whatever she wants. Such a terrifying blow can actually be operated as smoothly as breathing, which amazed Long Chun. So far, whether it is the power of dragon blood, the power of the 7-color supreme blood, the power of stars, or the purple blood power that is easiest to control, Long Chun is far from reaching Huolinger's realm. This girl is going against the sky. Brother Long Chun has to control so much power, and his energy is consumed, while Linger only needs to control the flames. Besides, I am the flame myself, so it is natural for me to be able to do this. Huolinger's laughter sounded in Long Chen's mind. Obviously, Long Chen's praise made Huolinger extremely excited. It is obvious that this girl has long wanted to give Long Chen a surprise. Today, the opportunity finally came, and Long Chen's reaction made her very satisfied. This is impossible. Lu Rujiao looked at the flying debris with a look of disbelief on her face. She couldn't accept that her strongest move was broken just like that. Even if Lu Mingho, who ranks first, is trapped by this move, he can only fight against it and finally win by the amount of origin power. Seeing Lu Rujiao's unwilling face, Long Chun said lightly, "You have always regarded the human emperor realm as a shackle, and regarded everything of the human race as garbage, and regarded the form of the human race as a shame. But you don't know how many precious opportunities you have lost because of your prejudice against the human race. It is no accident that the human race can stand at the top of all races. There are countless shining points in the human race, but you turn a blind eye to them. I don't know why the Lord of Nine Stars changed his way against the will of heaven and forcibly branded the human emperor realm, but I believe that he will never use this realm to bind all races, because with his personality, he disdains to do so. Hearing what Long Chun said, Lady Shihua's pupils shrank slightly, and she seemed to have thought of something. Long Chun continued, "The human race has many shortcomings, but there is one thing that you don't have. That is humility, tolerance, and a thirst for knowledge. We admire the strong, and while we admire, we will learn with an open mind. Even if it is something from our mortal enemy, we will learn it, because we know that we can polish jade with stones from other mountains. There is no good or bad in the weapon itself, it mainly depends on who holds it. If a villain holds it, he will rob and cholera. But if a gentleman holds it, he can kill demons and pacify the world. There is no big or small way, no good or bad technique, but the Immortal clan is stubborn and self-contained. If this continues, the glory of the Immortal clan will always be the glory of the past. Shut up. The great undead clan is not something you can judge." Long Chen's words made Lu Rujiao furious. Pa! She clasped her hands together, and suddenly a green leaf pattern appeared between her eyebrows, followed by a golden flame that enveloped her. "Lu Rujiao, are you crazy? Stop it." When he saw this scene, Lu Mingho, who ranked first, couldn't help but roar. Among all the Emperor Miao strongmen, only he and Lu Rujiao could do this move, which is the Emperor Flame Soul Summoning. Using their own lives as fuel, activating the Emperor Flame, and inducing the ancestor's soul to possess the body, thereby raising the power to an unprecedented height. Every undead clan strongman has the blessing rune of the ancestors attached to his body. When the undead clan strongmen are in desperate situations, they will use this move. However, the cost of using this move is huge. The ancestor's soul is unconscious. Once summoned, it will fight madly and quickly exhaust the life fire of the caster. This is a tragic move that will end in mutual destruction. Master Shihua. Lu Mingho looked at Master Shihua. Master Shihua did not speak, but watched quietly. Boom, boom, boom. The ring kept shaking, and then exploded, and then a huge deadwood giant appeared on the ring. When the deadwood giant appeared, Lu Rujiao's body floated to the deadwood giant's eyebrows, like a human-shaped gem, embedded in it. Boom! When Lu Rujiao was embedded in the deadwood giant's eyebrows, the giant's dead wood-like body suddenly bloomed with vitality, and then the vast divine power swept in all directions. The terrifying pressure made those Emperor Miao-level strongmen feel short of breath, and their bodies felt like they were about to be torn apart. People couldn't help but be shocked. What level of power is this? Buzz! The deadwood giant suddenly moved, and a fist as big as a house smashed towards Long Chun. The powerful force solidified the space where Long Chun was. The dragon swings. Its tail, Long Chun kicked out fiercely, and a dragon tail of thousands of miles long, like a whip of the gods, crossed the sky and hit the huge fist fiercely. Bang! The huge dragon tail was blown up by the huge fist, and Long Chen's blow also made the deadwood giant stagger. What's the point of increasing it by no more than 3 times? After a test, Long Chen couldn't help shaking his head. Buzz! Long Chen's figure flashed, and he rushed away, and instantly arrived in front of the head of the deadwood giant. Who? However, before Long Chen could make any move, the deadwood giant's big mouth suddenly opened, and the wooden thorns, like sharp swords, broke through the air. Chi chi chi. The void was pierced, but it failed to hurt Long Chen. Long Chen had already retreated, and all his attacks were in vain. Hoo 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 hoo. The deadwood giant waved his claws, and billions of branches burst the void. The sky and the earth twisted, and the ripples spread, shaking the strong men present, dizzy, and their eardrums hurt like needles. This power! Everyone was shocked. This power was too terrifying. Buzz! However, the terrifying whipping still did not hit Long Chun. People were shocked to find that Long Chun had already come in front of Lu Rujiao, and one hand had already reached her forehead. At that moment, the faces of the masters present changed drastically. Long Chun broke through the blockade of the dead wood giant without any effort and came to Lu Rujiao. His big hand was less than 3 inches away from Lu Rujiao's face. At this time, Lu Rujiao's body had completely merged with the dead wood giant. Her body could not move and was in a defenseless state. Long Chun could easily destroy her body. If her body was destroyed, the soul attached to the dead wood giant would have nowhere to return. When the emperor's flame burned out, the whole person would completely fall. When seeing this scene, countless strong men of the undead clan were heartbroken. However, just when Long Chen's big hand was about to hit Lu Rujiao's forehead, he suddenly changed his action and put his thumb on his middle finger. With a muffled bang, a head slammed heavily on Lu Rujiao's forehead, and a pigeon egg-shaped bump suddenly swelled up on her smooth forehead. The severe pain made Lu Rujiao's body tremble violently, and as she trembled, the dead wood giant also trembled violently. Wei Wei, wake up. If you don't wake up, your original power will be overdrawn. Even if you don't die, you will be disabled. Long Chen shouted. Hearing Long Chen's call, Lu Rujiao's eyes trembled, and her eyes slowly opened. Boom! The moment she opened her eyes, her consciousness was instantly separated from the dead wood giant, and the dead wood giant's body collapsed rapidly and turned into dust. Seeing this scene, people couldn't help but breathe a sigh of relief. When they looked at Long Chun at this time, there was a touch of complexity in their eyes. Lu Rujiao had said before that this was a battle of life and death, and whoever died was to blame for it. And Long Chun didn't need to show mercy at all. However, Long Chun did not kill at the critical moment, and he interrupted this magical power at the first time, in fact, to save Lu Rujiao. When Lord Shihua saw this scene, a faint smile appeared on the corner of his mouth. This is the performance of a wise man of the human race. Chu Yao and Lu Ruyan also secretly breathed a sigh of relief. If Long Chen killed Lu Rujiao, or even if he didn't kill Lu Rujiao himself, Lu Rujiao would eventually die from exhausting the emperor's flame, and the situation would eventually become unmanageable. From the current point of view, this is the best ending. Long Chen has left room for it. Lu Ruyan and Chu Yao smiled at each other, and both of them became relaxed. Once the sky returns to reason, the rain will be over and the sky will be clear. I'm so unwilling. I can obviously win. Lu Rujiao's face was pale, and she was defeated in the end, with a look of pain in her eyes. You can't win, even if you are given 100 chances, you can't win. Your strength increase just now is indeed amazing, but unfortunately, while your strength is increasing, your speed, reaction, and perception are all decreasing. No matter how powerful the power is, it is meaningless if you can't hit anyone. If I'm not mistaken, this is the first time you use this trick against the enemy, right? Long Chen said. How do you know? Lu Rujiao said in surprise. If you use it a second time, there will be 2 results. One is that you will make up for these fatal flaws, and the other is that you will not be alive today. Long Chen said lightly. You! Lu Rujiao was furious. Long Chen's meaning was very clear. If you used this move on others, you would have died long ago. However, after her anger, she thought about it carefully. Long Chen's words were not wrong. For ordinary enemies, she didn't need this move at all. Those who could force her to use this move must also be able to see these shortcomings. She really had no chance of survival. You lost to me for 2 main reasons. One is that, under the human emperor, the human race has an absolute advantage. The other reason is that you have no experience in fighting against the human race, and you have never experienced a real life and death struggle. Of course, my words are not directed at you, but, Long Chen said, looking around at all the strong men around him. To each of you present here, you are all flowers in a greenhouse, arrogant frogs in a well. You! Long Chen's words once again ignited the anger of all the strong men present, and the little goodwill they had for showing mercy before was instantly gone. Not convinced? Continue? As I said, I am invincible under the human emperor, and I can exchange 1-for-1 with those above the human emperor. Except for Lord Shihua. Anyone who doesn't like me can come up and fight me. Long Chun said arrogantly. Long Chen's move made the whole audience in an uproar. There were many old generation strong men of the undead clan sitting on the field. Long Chun was going to challenge the entire undead clan. Originally, Lu Ruyan was still smiling, and she was amazed that Long Chun showed mercy and won the favor of everyone. After all, no matter what, she came from the undead clan. This was her home, and she didn't want to make things too awkward. However, Long Chun looked like he was going to overthrow the entire undead clan, which immediately made her angry, but Chu Yao took her hand and smiled. Don't worry. Long Chun knows what he is doing. This is his tactic. What tactic? Oh, don't you know your people yet? They look down on the human race because the human race is weak and cunning. They admire the strong the most. Why do they worship Lord Emperor so much? Isn't it because he is the strongest among the undead clan? Why can't Lord Shihua respond to 100 calls? Isn't it because she can't be stronger than Lord Emperor? Long Chun did this to establish his own strong image. Only a strong person can convince them, otherwise they will never change their views on the human race. Chu Yao said. Hearing this, Lu Ruyan seemed to understand, but she obviously still had a lot of shortcomings in terms of people's hearts. Okay, let's end this competition here. If you are not convinced, you should go back and work hard to improve instead of yelling here with a red face and thick neck. Lord Shihua finally spoke, suppressing the noise in the whole place. Although everyone was not convinced, if someone as powerful as Lu Rujiao was defeated, then there were probably only 2 people who had a chance to defeat Long Chun. Did they really have to send a strong man in the Queen of Gods period to take action? Would the undead clan still have any face? Everyone left with gloomy faces, and in the end only Lord Shihua stayed. Lu Ruyan and Chu Yao hurried forward to pay their respects. Lu Ruyan was in a surprisingly good mood today. She was angry at Lord Shihua's hesitation in saving Long Chun before, but thinking about it carefully, Lord Shihua did nothing wrong, and in the end she still took action. Thinking about the hurtful words she had said, she felt ashamed. Can we have a good chat? Lord Shihua said tentatively, seeing that Lu Ruyan always had a smile on her face. Then you guys chat. I'll step aside first? Long Chun also asked tentatively. No, I just have something to ask you, Lord Shihua said with a smile. Lu Ruyan hesitated for a moment, feeling a little uneasy. She was afraid that Lord Shihua would interrogate Long Chun, and it would be bad if something unpleasant happened. Lord Shihua seemed to see what Lu Ruyan was thinking, and said with a smile, just chatting about family matters. According to the seniority of the human race as a mother-in-law, I must at least get to know my future son-in-law. Upon hearing this, Lu Ruyan's pretty face flushed immediately, but she was happy in her heart, because from the tone of Lord Shihua, she had already recognized Long Chun. Lu Ruyan also gladly invited Lord Shihua and went straight to the waterfall on the top of the mountain. It seemed that Master Shihua was here for the first time. When he saw the surrounding scenery, he couldn't help but praise it. Lu Ruyan was in a good mood today, and gradually let down her guard against Master Shihua, and told her that this was a scene in the spirit world, and she copied it here. While Master Shihua praised, he also inquired about the situation in the underworld in a roundabout way. Naturally, Lu Ruyan would not hide anything and told it one by one. Only then did Long Chun know that Master Shihua didn't know Lu Ruyan's past at all. And today he had the opportunity to really communicate with Lu Ruyan. From Master Shihua's cautious eyes, Long Chun could see that she loved Lu Ruyan very much. However, Master Shihua's way of expressing emotions was relatively more subtle. Perhaps Lu Ruyan couldn't feel that kind of maternal love. At the same time, because of the various rules and concepts of the undead clan, and the things imposed on her by Lu Chongtian, she and Master Shihua also became disgusted. But today was different. Master Shihua's words made Lu Ruyan feel close to and trust her immediately, and she told her everything. Lord Shihua seemed very interested in the affairs of Tianwu continent and asked many questions. Long Chun couldn't help laughing. Is this a roundabout way to ask about me? Lu Ruyan. didn't have any scheming at all. She said whatever she wanted to say, even those embarrassing things, which made Long Chun speechless. The three of them talked and laughed. Long Chun was embarrassed beside them, but seeing that the gap between Lord Shihua and Lu Ruyan was opened, Long Chun felt much more relaxed. Although Lu Chongtian was the emperor, what was wrong with the emperor? Can he block the pillow wind? As long as Lord Shihua stood on their side, there would be room for maneuver. Long Chun, what do you think of the disciples of the undead clan? After the three of them talked and laughed for a while, Lord Shihua looked at Long Chun and said seriously, "Speak nicely." Lu Ruyan was afraid that Long Chun would look down on the disciples of the undead clan, and one sentence destroyed the good atmosphere that had just been established. Long Chun pondered for a moment and said, "The disciples of the undead clan are very strong, but useless." "You bastard!" Lu Ruyan was so angry that she glared. "Why is this person like this? I am also a member of the undead clan." "Oh? How is it useless?" Lord Shihua was not angry either, and smiled slightly. "Having powerful strength but not knowing how to use it is useless, isn't it?" Long Chun spread his hands and said helplessly. Lord Shihua pondered for a moment and said, "We in the undead clan are not very smart. Can you please be more straightforward?" Long Chun was about to speak when he saw Chu Yao winking at him, meaning that he should be more tactful and not use other people's faces as insoles. Lord Shihua smiled and said, "It doesn't matter. Just say whatever you have to say. Try to be more straightforward. Our understanding ability is relatively poor." Seeing Lord Shihua's attitude, Long Chun couldn't help but admire it. It is true that the higher the cultivation level, the more low-key a person is. A full bottle does not make a sound, but a half-full bottle makes a noise. It is not easy for a powerful person like Shihua to ask questions without shame. Long Chun said solemnly, "Thanks to Shihua, I must tell the truth, otherwise, I will be sorry for your trust. To be honest, the disciples of our undead clan are strong, but their lethality is extremely weak. They have not even exerted 30% of their own strength. If I am not mistaken, the way Lu Rujiao and Lu Qingyu attack and their fighting routines are still the style of the Chaos era." Shihua nodded. Long Chun was right. The undead clan has always followed the most ancient inheritance and fighting style. Long Chun continued, "Years are changing, times are changing. This fighting style and rhythm have long been eliminated. No, the older the skills, the stronger the magic skills, the more powerful they are?" Lu Ruyan couldn't help but retorted. Long Chun nodded. "That's right, but they are all dead, and the people who control them are alive. Since the Chaos era, the laws of the world have been fading, spiritual energy has become thinner, resources have become increasingly scarce, and competition has become increasingly fierce. In order to survive, the combat system has been constantly evolving, which has led to the extreme combat awareness of modern strong men. For example, what can I do? I dare not be weak. If I am not strong, I will die. If I die, your beautiful wife will have to remain a widow." Pfft. Seeing that Long Chun was getting more and more out of control, Chu Yao hurriedly said, "Don't say those unlucky words and talk about business." Long Chun said seriously, "What I mean is that the combat system, style, and methods of the undead clan are too old and can no longer keep up with the times. To put it bluntly, they have been eliminated. If I am not mistaken, the Daluo Qinglian clan came to test it to see if the undead clan is still as conservative as before. You see, the Magic Eye Water Lily clan has already begun to cooperate with the Great Brahma and the Yenshu clan. If the undead clan still sticks to its old ways, I'm afraid not only will it be difficult to restore its former glory, but if things go wrong, it will also." Long Chun didn't say the last sentence, but the meaning was already very clear. Although the great Luo Qinglian clan had been annihilated, would the message not be passed on? If that was the case, it would be too much to underestimate the great Brahma's means. Long Chun was sure that the situation here must have been fully grasped. Lord Shihua was silent for a while and said, "If it's according to your idea, how should the undead clan continue?" Long Chun said, "The great Brahma must have known the situation here. If I'm not wrong, he will be very satisfied to see that the undead clan is still sticking to their old ways and stagnating. For a long time, he will try not to disturb us, but when he wants to deal with us, it must be a thunderous blow, not giving us any chance. Therefore, this battle is very beneficial to us. If we can take advantage of the time when Brahma is careless and quickly improve the strength of the undead clan, we will be able to face the thunderbolt attack in the future with ease. How can we improve it quickly? Asked Master Xihua. I have a way, said Longchen. But Longchen only said these 4 words, and then stopped talking, looking at Master Xihua quietly. Master. Xihua was stunned, and was stunned for a long time, and did not wait for Longchen to continue, not knowing what Longchen meant. If you have a way, why don't you tell me? Lu Ruyan finally couldn't help but said. Longchen said with embarrassment. This method is the secret of my Long family. It has always been passed on inside and not outside, and passed on to men but not women. Of course, if Ruyan marries me, I will naturally not keep it a secret, but Ruyan hasn't married yet. No matter how stupid Lord Xihua was, he understood what Longchen meant. To put it bluntly, he wanted Lu Changtian to show his attitude. Lord Xihua couldn't help but laugh. This kid was really cunning. Wasn't he going to release the eagle before he saw the rabbit? Seeing that Longchen was unwilling to continue, Lord Xihua chatted with Lu Ruyan and others for a while before leaving. Longchen, you are threatening me. Isn't that good? Chu Yao couldn't help but say after Lord Xihua left. This is not a threat. I want to demonstrate to my future father-in-law. Facing such a strong man, if I am weak, he will only look down on me. This is a method of attacking the heart. Longchen shook his head. Chu Yao and Lu Ruyan didn't quite understand, but since it was Longchen's decision, they didn't ask any more questions. The 3 of them chatted and laughed here, and just after 2 days a decree came, summoning the 3 of them to an audience. Here I come. Longchen heard, and his fighting spirit was immediately high. He wanted to show his brother what kind of existence his future father-in-law is. Lu Changtian is the emperor of the Minglu clan and the leader of all the immortal clans. Even in the chaotic era he was a giant. Lu Changtian has never been banned. He relied on his immortal power to survive the long years and stand to this day. He did not accept the ban because of his pride, which did not allow him to avoid the slash of heaven. He would only face any difficulties head-on and never back down. In the hall, in front of the long table, Lu Changtian was in the main seat. He was handsome and majestic, with long flowing hair, but his temples were already gray. This was the mark left by the years. Even as a strong man of this level, he still could not resist the knife of time. His eyes were like stars in the night, as if he could see through everything between heaven and earth. At this time, he looked at the people around him coldly with a gloomy face. He wanted to see Longchen, but Lord Xihua arranged a long table. Including Lord Xihua, 36 powerful elders of the Immortal clan attended. Longchen, Lu Ruyan and Chu Yao were arranged to sit at the last seat, just opposite Lu Changtian. When Lu Changtian's figure came, everyone stood up in a hurry, but seeing Lu Changtian's livid face, many senior elders were frightened and dared not say a word, wondering why the emperor's face was so ugly. Lu Changtian looked at Lord Xihua. This meeting was arranged by Lord Xihua, but he did not expect that Lord Xihua would arrange this kind of meeting. He was the emperor who was high above, and he was usually in the hall looking down on the ministers. When had he ever been on an equal footing with others? Besides, it would be fine to sit on an equal footing with a group of senior officials, but there were 3 juniors here. What did Lord Xihua mean by this? Lord Xihua said calmly, Lord Emperor, many things happened during your retreat. You wanted to summon Longchen and just happened to hold a parliament. Xihua made the decision without authorization, and the 2 things were combined. Lu Changtian looked at Lord Xihua. How could he not know what Lord Xihua was thinking? She deliberately invited these high-ranking officials to come here so that he could restrain himself and not embarrass Longchen too much, so as not to lose his dignity. How can a small human race have the qualifications to participate in my race's council? What's more, how can he be equal to me? Is he worthy? Lu Chongtian shouted coldly, not giving face to the ministers and Lord Shihua at all. Lu Ruyan and Chu Yao's faces changed immediately, and Long Chun was furious when he heard this. Long Chun said angrily, "The tiny human race? The tiny human race can ascend to the top of all races, rule the 8 wastelands and 6 directions, and lead an era. You Lu Chongtian are awesome, why don't you lead the immortal race once? If you are really awesome, you will subvert the way of heaven, destroy the realm of the human emperor, and let the immortal race cross this barrier? The tiny human race can do it, but you can't. What qualifications do you have to speak nonsense in front of me? Do you think you are awesome just because you are strong? To be frank, if you compete with me in the same realm, do you believe me if I give you one hand?" Long Chun. Lu Ruyan and Chu Yao were scared to death by Long Chen's words. Is this guy crazy? Didn't they say it well before coming? To value peace and tolerance, try to find a way to cooperate with Lord Shihua to persuade Lu Chongtian together. Why did they quarrel at the first sentence? What Long Chen said was too ugly. Lu Chongtian was furious and only needed a thought to kill them all. Lu Chongtian is the absolute authority in the Immortal clan and the most strong-willed person. It is a blasphemy for others to speak loudly to him. But Long Chun pointed at Lu Chongtian's nose and cursed him. Lu Ruyan and Chu Yao were so scared that their faces turned pale. The senior elders were also shocked at this time. You are looking for death, don't let us get involved. Okay? Although we are old, we haven't lived enough. Lu Chongtian listened to Long Chen's words. His face suddenly turned pale, and murderous intent surged. At this time, Long Chun ignored Lu Ruyan and Chu Yao's obstruction, pointed at Lu Chongtian and said, "Why are you pretending to be so arrogant? Just tell me, am I right or wrong? What? You can't refute it verbally, you can't afford to lose, so you want to use force? Okay, if you have the ability, suppress your cultivation to the realm of heavenly saint, and let's compete. Afraid of losing? That's fine, come on, come on. Slap me to death with one palm. Let me see how the great emperor of the Immortal clan bullies the weak and kills a human heavenly saint." As Long Chen spoke, he actually leaned his head forward, looking like he was offering himself to you to beat him, just like a rogue. You! Lu Chongtian was so angry that he trembled all over. His fists clenched and creaked, and he wanted to step forward and crush this kid to death. But he is the emperor of the Immortal clan. Not to mention that there are so many people present. Even if he is alone, he can't attack a small heavenly saint. In fact, before Long Chun came, he roughly guessed Lu Chongtian's character, and after seeing him in person, he was more convinced of his guess. It is almost impossible to get the affirmation of such a person, especially since this guy has a preconceived idea. It is almost impossible to change his mind. Long Chun simply put himself in a desperate situation and then survive. Anyway, he is not the kind of person who can bear being bullied, so he can only take one step at a time. Lu Chongtian pointed at Long Chun and cursed. "You ignorant boy, you young boy, you don't know how high the sky is and how deep the earth is. When this emperor was fighting against all races, your ancestors didn't even know where to play in the mud." Long Chun was not polite either, and responded with a sneer. "You old thief with white hair and gray beard. You have lived in vain for endless years, but you don't know that the times have changed and the ways have changed. You only know to immerse yourself in the glory of the past. Ignorant boy, young boy, white hair, old thief with gray beard." Lu Ruyan and Chu Yao almost fainted when they heard the words of cursing between the two. Their minds were blank. "You sinister boy, you know that this emperor can't suppress his cultivation. So you are provoking me recklessly, right?" Lu Chongtian said with a gloomy face. "Lu Chongtian's strength is too strong. Let alone suppressing it to the heavenly saint realm, even suppressing it to the queen of God realm can't do it. If he can do it, he will definitely give this arrogant boy a good beating. TSK, I, the third master Long, disdain to use those shady tricks. With the same cultivation level, I let you use one hand, not to anger you, nor to humiliate you, but to tell you that this is the truth. If you don't accept it, let's have a bet." Long Chin sneered. "You know that I can't suppress your cultivation level. How can you compete?" Lu Chongtian said coldly. It's simple. There are many young disciples of the undead clan. You and I will each pick one and guide them in their cultivation. 10 days later, a battle will determine the winner, Long Chen said without thinking. Hearing Long Chen say this, Lu Ruyan and Chu Yao's hearts beat wildly. Only then did they understand Long Chen's strategy. Okay, I'll bet with you. Hearing Lu Chongtian's words, Long Chen immediately felt at ease, and a smile appeared on the corner of his mouth. Seeing the smile on Long Chen's mouth, Lu Chongtian snorted coldly. Little bastard, do you think you can win? Old Deng, do you think I will lose? Long Chen sneered back. Everyone present. Although Lu Chongtian didn't know what Lao Deng meant, he knew it was not a good thing when he heard Long Chen's tone. In his life, he had never seen such an arrogant junior. A guy who could kill with a breath was fearless in front of him. He was also a new experience. Seeing Lu Chongtian's face was ashen, and a layer of frost hung down. But he was able to restrain himself all the time, which made Master Shihua feel relieved and secretly relieved. However, the loyal ministers and elders of the undead clan present were frightened and their faces turned pale. They had never experienced such a scene in their lives. Lu Chongtian took a deep breath and tried to calm himself down and said, There are many disciples of the Emperor Miao in the undead clan. You can choose anyone. I will make you lose with conviction so that you don't know your own limitations. I will choose Lu Rujiao. She ranks third. The first and second places are left to you. Long Chen said arrogantly. Hearing Long Chen's words, Lu Chongtian's anger, which he had just suppressed, suddenly flared up again. How ignorant must this little bastard be to say such arrogant words? Lu Chongtian was so angry that he almost couldn't breathe. He shook his finger and pointed at Long Chen and said, Little bastard, I will choose Lu Qingyu who was defeated by you. 10 days later, the two of us will fight. If you lose, I don't want your life. You just kneel outside the hall, prostrate yourself, and say loudly 10,000 times, I am a little bastard. Okay. If you lose, I don't need you to kneel on the ground. You can just say 10,000 times, I am Lao Deng. Long Chen also said unceremoniously. Okay. I'll wait for you. Ha! Lu Chongtian waved his sleeves, and his figure instantly disappeared in the hall, leaving only a group of old men, secretly wiping their sweat. Lord Shihua, this. An old man couldn't help but look at Lord Shihua, with a confused look on his face. Didn't they say they were discussing important matters? Lord Emperor said nothing, exchanged a few words with a little guy and left. What's going on? Lord Emperor is in a bad mood. Let's talk about it another day. Thank you for your hard work. Lord Shihua said this and persuaded the others to leave. For a while, only Long Chen and the other four were left in the hall. At this time, Lu Ruyan and Chu Yao came back to their senses from the shock. Lu Ruyan couldn't help but complain. Long Chen, he is my father no matter what. And he is your future father-in-law. How can you treat him like this? Long Chen spread his hands and said helplessly, You can see that Lord Emperor is stubborn. If you want to talk to him, you must strive for the qualifications, otherwise he won't even look at me. How can I get along with him? But, you are declaring war on Lord Emperor, Chu Yao said hurriedly. No way. If you want to get the respect of the strong, you must rely on your strength to fight for it. Long Chen shook his head and sighed. Lord Shihua, I have to ask you for a favor. Please help me contact Lu Rujiao. She must fully cooperate with me in this matter. Otherwise, I will really be a little bastard. Hearing the little bastard, Lord Shihua, Lu Ruyan and Chu Yao couldn't help laughing. Thinking of the dignified Lord Emperor calling him a little bastard, it was funny to think about it. It was just too serious at the time, and the atmosphere was too tense, so no one dared to laugh. The main reason was that Lu Chongtian, with a noble status, never had the habit of scolding people. Maybe in his eyes, little bastard was the most vicious, humiliating word. Lord Shihua and Lu Chongtian have known each other for so many years, but this is the first time he has seen him scolding people. It's funny to think about it. I'll talk to Lu Rujiao and ask her to fully cooperate with you, Lord Shihua said. But Lord Shihua didn't say another sentence, that is, you can't lose too badly. Because Lord Emperor has never instructed anyone for countless years. Because no one can catch his eye. Lu Chongtian is a peerless genius of the Immortal clan. An existence unprecedented in history. Over countless years, countless people have hoped to receive guidance from the Emperor. Lu Qingyu was lucky today. A huge pie fell directly on his head. It was not because of his talent, but because of his average talent, and he had been defeated by Long Chun. It is conceivable that Lu Qingyu would be so excited that he would go crazy if he knew that he would get personal guidance from the Emperor. Returning to their residence, Lu Ruyan and Chu Yao were full of sorrow. It was impossible for Long Chun to win this competition. The strength of the Emperor was beyond their imagination. In the chaotic era, the Emperor fought against all races and desperately protected the continuation of the immortal race in an absolute disadvantage. Can be seen how strong he is. Moreover, the Emperor has never accepted an apprentice. From this point, it can be seen how arrogant he is. If he instructs someone, what kind of improvement will that person get? Unlike the inheritance of the human race, the inheritance of the immortal race can be continued through blood and soul. Countless magical powers can be transmitted in an instant. How can Long Chun have such an advantage? If Long Chun loses, Lu Chongtian will look down on him even more. He will be expelled from the undead clan immediately. At that time, there will be no room for maneuver. Where will Lu Ruyan go? What will Chu Yao choose? Leave or stay? But now the matter is done and irreversible. They can only move forward. They dare not show excessive worry, so as not to affect Long Chun. But seeing Long Chen's confident appearance, they also feel a little more comforted in their hearts. Maybe Long Chun can create another miracle. Lord Shihua was very efficient. Just after half an hour, Lu Rujiao arrived. When Lu Rujiao arrived, she gritted her teeth and said, "Why choose me? If you had chosen Lu Mingho, maybe I could have received guidance from Lord Emperor." Long Chun was speechless. Are you stupid? No matter how strong Lord Emperor is, he is only strong himself, and it does not mean that the disciples he teaches will necessarily be strong. If Lord Emperor really had the ability to pass on all his skills, would the undead clan have been hunted down so miserably back then? What he can control, even if he teaches you, you cannot control it, otherwise the undead clan would not have only one Lu Chongtian, do you know? You have a big head. Why don't you know how to think? Lu Rujiao was stunned by Long Chen's scolding, and seemed to think that what Long Chan said made some sense. Lord Emperor had no disciples for so many years. That was because no one could inherit his magical powers. Otherwise, why would he be stingy? Seeing Lu Rujiao stop talking, Long Chan couldn't help but laugh. The children of the undead clan were really innocent. It was good that way. They were like blank sheets of paper, so it was very easy to teach them. Let me ask you a question. If I taught you my unique skills, would you deliberately let Lu Qingyu win when you met him? Long Chen said. Are you kidding? The undead clan values promises the most. Master Shihua ordered me to fight for you. I must go all out. How could I let him win? Besides, letting Master Emperor win is a blasphemy to Master Emperor. No one in the undead clan would do that. Lu Rujiao said angrily. That's good. I will make you the third-ranked master among the younger generation of the undead clan. Long Chun said confidently. Lu Rujiao rolled her eyes when she heard what Long Chun said. I'm already ranked third. Okay? TSK, what I mean is that you will become the strongest master of the younger generation besides Ruyan and Yaoer. Well, without further ado, let's start the trial. The first step is to try your best to survive 3 breaths of time in the trial and not be killed. Long Chun said. What? Lu Rujiao didn't understand what Long Chun meant. Boom! Suddenly, the 7 treasures glazed tree opened up the sky, and the world in front of Lu Rujiao changed. Countless terrifying creatures rushed towards her. Puff! Before Lu Rujiao could understand what was going on, her head was cut off by a sharp dagger. Ah! Lu Rujiao screamed, and she retreated from the 7 treasures glazed space with a horrified look on her face. Just now, A dagger cut off her head, and more than a dozen sharp swords pierced her body. There were also countless strange python-like figures that entangled her limbs and crushed them. Lu Rujiao was so scared that she trembled all over. She had never experienced such a realistic death in her life. Long Chun looked at Lu Rujiao with contempt. "I thought you could at least hold on for a breath. I really overestimated you." Long Chun did not expect that at the moment of death, Lu Rujiao would be so unbearable. She was killed instantly by a single blow, and there was no room for her strength to be exerted. "What is that place?" Lu Rujiao said with a trembling voice. "That is the Seven Treasures Space. All the people and monsters in it were copied by the Seven Treasures Space after I killed them. You just entered, and the most powerful existence didn't have time to make a move, and you were already dead. The great undead race is really impressive." Long Chun said disdainfully. "You!" Lu Rujiao was shocked and angry. Long Chen's contemptuous eyes and condescending tone made her unacceptable. "Don't say you my, hurry up and get in!" Long Chen shouted, and the space was activated, directly pulling Lu Rujiao into the Qibao battlefield again. Puff, puff, puff. This time, Lu Rujiao learned to be smart. She released her ultimate move at the first time. Endless willow branches were agitated, sealing the sky and locking the earth, trying to create a place for herself. Puff! As a result, a sharp sword ignored her defense, pierced through her shield, and pierced directly into her forehead. Ah! Lu Rujiao screamed, and the scene in front of her changed. She appeared in front of Long Chun again. She touched her forehead with horror, and found that everything was just an illusion, and then she gradually calmed down. However, seeing Long Chun looking at her with disdain, Lu Rujiao roared, "What kind of a hell space is this? A human sword can penetrate my defense? I don't believe it." "TSK, there are many things you don't believe. That person is from Ling Tian Sword God's sect. He is an out-and-out sword cultivator. When you cast a spell, all the energy is concentrated in the head. It would be strange if a sword cultivator can't kill you." Long Chun curled his lips. "That's a sword cultivator. The legendary sword cultivator with the best attack power?" Lu Rujiao said in surprise. "What do you think? Stop talking nonsense. I'm counting on you to help me beat that old lamp. Let me get in." After Long Chun finished speaking, he didn't give Lu Rujiao a chance to breathe. He didn't care about the fear she had just been killed, and pulled her into the Seven Treasures Space again. Ah! The screams rose and fell one after another. In just half an incense stick of time, Lu Rujiao was killed hundreds of times. The pain in her body and the fear in her mind almost tortured her to collapse. But Long Chun didn't care about her life or death and kept throwing her into the Seven Treasures Space. Lu Rujiao retained the most primitive ability of the undead clan. She was not a real person, so her soul and will were not easy to collapse. The pain of her body was not as sharp as that of the human race, so she could bear it. "Stupid? Fear is useless. Face it bravely. Don't hide. Fight him hard. Don't you even have the courage to die with the enemy? Idiot! When facing a siege, you have to deal with the person who poses the greatest threat first. What's the point of killing those minions? Don't be scared. Keep going. You are a great undead clan. Are you going to be trampled under the feet of a small human race?" Long Chun kept yelling and stimulating Lu Rujiao. At this time, Lu Rujiao had her hair disheveled, just like a madman, gritting her teeth and fighting with endless enemies. This was a real battle with all races because Long Chun killed too many people from all races endless. Moreover, the people here always use their strongest moves, all of which are powerful moves that can kill with one strike. Lu Rujiao is always in a panic and is killed continuously. She exits the Seven Treasures Space, and before she can catch her breath, she is thrown in by Long Chan again. Lu Rujiao didn't know what hell was, but she felt that she was in hell at this moment. The feeling of living a life worse than death almost made her collapse, and she wanted to give up countless times. But every time Long Chun taunted her with the great Immortal clan, she would grit her teeth and fight back frantically. After a day, Lu Rujiao didn't know how many times she died. Her sharp breath gradually rose, and she finally showed the fighting power that a strong person of her level should have. She could already last for 5 breaths in the 7 treasure space. Seeing this, Long Chun couldn't help but secretly praise in his heart. The potential of the Immortal clan was amazing. Lu Rujiao was gradually getting rid of the rust under Long Chen's polishing, revealing her true edge. When Lu Rujiao could really face death and fear would not cause her great pressure, her attacks began to become fierce, her moves gradually became less chaotic, and began to become methodical. Some redundant attacks and defenses were naturally eliminated, and gradually showed the appearance of a master. Seeing that Lu Rujiao's attack had gradually got on the right track, she naturally formed a fighting consciousness under the instinct of life. Long Chen originally thought that it would take 2 days to reach the expected level. Lu Rujiao's progress greatly exceeded Long Chen's expectations, and Long Chen suddenly felt much more relaxed. Long Chen, can we also enter the 7 treasures space and start practicing? Long Chen trained Lu Rujiao, and Chu Yao and Lu Ruyan had been watching from a distance. They saw Lu Rujiao entering a state of concentration for a while, and then screaming in fear. Although they knew that she was practicing, they didn't know the mystery. However, seeing that Lu Rujiao's aura was improving at a speed visible to the naked eye, and her temperament was constantly changing, they couldn't help but be full of expectations for Long Chen's 7 treasures space. Now that Long Chen finally had some free time, Chu Yao and Lu Ruyan hurried forward, and both of them were eager to try. Long Chen said, "Even if you two didn't come, I would still look for you. During this time in the undead demon forest, your combat consciousness has degraded too seriously. It's time to regain the feeling of fighting. Do you know what feeling is? Isn't feeling just feeling? It's the instinctive consciousness of fighting." Lu Ruyan said with wide eyes. "Is there any other explanation for this?" Long Chen shook his head. Feeling, in fact, is 2 words, one is sense and the other is perception, and the 2 have different meanings. What's the difference? Chu Yao and Lu Ruyan were full of curiosity. Feeling means that the opponent has already made a move, and you can sense the strength, landing point, arc, range, etc. of his attack. And perception means that you think what his next move will be after this one, whether it is attack or defense, advance or retreat. If you have a strong perception, you don't even need to make a move, you can clearly know how many moves it will take to defeat the opponent. That day when I said I would fight 10 people, I was not bragging, but my perception told me that even if all 10 of them attacked together, they would have no chance of defeating me. Long Chen said. After hearing what Long Chen said, Lu Ruyan couldn't help but take a breath of cold air. Could it be that Long Chen is really that powerful? Except for the artifacts I have, we should be on par with each other in terms of our own strength. You may even be stronger than me, but you are definitely not my opponent because of your sense and perception. Long Chen said, the 7 treasure space is to train a person's sense and perception. It has 7 levels of difficulty. You should start from the first level. Which level did Lu Rujiao start from? Lu Ruyan asked. She started from the 4th level. Then why do we have to start from the first level? She is not my wife. Lu Ruyan and Chu Yao. Buzz. The void trembled, and Lu Ruyan and Chu Yao were also sent into the 7 treasure space, but they were sent to the lowest level. After all, they were his wives. So how could he bear to let them suffer that hardship and pain? Old Deng, let me see how you will lose this time. Long Chen looked into the distance, with a sinister smile on his lips. Long Chen, I've been holding it in for a long time, and I just want to ask you, what exactly do you mean by calling Lao Deng? Chen Kuanding's voice rang in Long Chen's mind. As Chen Kuanding asked Hualinger, Yaolinger, Fan Tianin, and even Long Guxiayu in the giant cocoon in the chaotic space trembled slightly, as if they were eavesdropping with their ears erect. Long Chen couldn't help but laugh. Even someone as knowledgeable as Chen Kuanding didn't know the origin of Lao Deng. Long Chen explained, this is an insult. In the Tianwu continent, when a person dies and is placed in a coffin, ordinary people have to keep vigil for 3 days. During these 3 days, an oil lamp needs to be lit in front of the coffin, that is, in the direction of the head of the deceased. This lamp is called a reverse headlamp, also called a guide lamp, which means to guide the dead soul into the underworld, so as not to go in the wrong direction and become a lonely ghost. The guide lamp must be kept on for 3 days and 3 nights, and relatives must watch it all the time and keep adding oil to it. If the lamp goes out, it is unlucky. In the Tianwu Empire, only people who die of old age can have this treatment, so the guide lamp is also called an old lamp. It is used to insult people, similar to old coffin gourd, old coffin board, old immortal, etc. Then you use this sentence to scold your future father-in-law? Isn't it a bit inappropriate? Chen Ding couldn't help but said, "What's inappropriate? He is originally from the Immortal clan." Long Chun spread his hands. Chen Ding. Ha! At this moment, Lu Ruyan's body shook, and her consciousness withdrew from the 7 treasures space, with a look of shock on her face. Imputa, I saw Imputa. Hearing Lu Ruyan's words, Long Chun rolled his eyes immediately. He knew that Lu Ruyan would never come quietly and step by step. There are 7 floors in the 7 treasure space, and Imputa is on the 6th floor. This guy killed his way to the 6th floor for the first time. It's cruel and wild. However, it's not surprising to think about it. Lu Ruyan was originally a master. She followed Long Chun all the way in the Tianwu continent. Because she was in the undead clan, she lost her original consciousness. After the stimulation in the 7 treasure space, her senses awakened quickly, which Lu Rujiao could not compare to. It was him, and I killed him. Long Chen briefly recounted the process. At this time, Chu Yao also withdrew with a pale face. It turned out that Lu Ruyan wanted to go alone, and Chu Yao was worried about her and followed her all the time. Until Lu Ruyan was in danger, Chu Yao took action directly, but the enemy was too strong, and the two were sent out one after another. Looking at the pale Chu Yao, Long Chun couldn't help but feel a pain in his heart. Facing the taste of death is not pleasant. It will evoke people's most primitive fear. Long Chun, where does the energy in your 7 treasures space come from? So many terrifying beings. Where do their source powers come from? Chu Yao couldn't help asking. Long Chun shook his head and said, I don't know either. Although this space belongs to the 7 treasures glazed tree, I don't know much about the 7 treasures glazed tree. In addition, this space is ghostly and gloomy, and I always feel a bit of hell. I don't understand it now. At the beginning it was extremely chaotic here, and then it was divided into 7 layers. Moreover, in the last layer there was a guy. I fought against it, and my chances of winning were less than 50%. I was killed by it several times. It can't even beat you? Then how did it come to the 7 treasures space? Lu Ruyan said in shock. I don't know either. Long Chen shook his head. How the Hades shadow was captured by the 7 treasures glazed tree was still unknown to him. It was precisely because he couldn't figure it out that he challenged the Hades shadow countless times, resulting in countless deaths. The Hades Emperor clearly repeated those moves over and over again, but they were infinitely varied. Although Long Chun had his moments of winning, he lost more often. However, challenging the Hades Emperor's shadow was the main reason for Long Chen's rapid growth, because only it could withstand Long Chen's strongest moves and accumulate more combat experience. If it weren't for the Hades Emperor's shadow, Long Chun wouldn't have been able to absorb what Long Zhantian had given him so quickly. During this period, the heavenly Tao was being perfected, and everyone was waiting for the opportunity to advance to the human emperor. Long Chun had already reached the peak of the heavenly saint, and his 13 dragon veins had solidified to the extreme. However, Long Chun was always challenging his own limits, without any slackness, because he knew that now, every time he improved his strength, when he advanced to the human emperor, that strength would explode tenfold or even more. Long Chun kept squeezing out his potential, because he knew that after crossing the human emperor realm, the advantages of the human race would be completely lost, and all races would no longer be suppressed by human form and would return to their nature. At that time, the demons, monsters, beasts, blood races, evil spirits and other races would usher in a blowout explosion, and the world pattern would be rewritten. If the human race is not strong enough, they will only be oppressed in the future, and even become prisoners of all races. I want to meet that mysterious existence, Lu Ruyan said without resting, and went directly into the Qibao space. Seeing Lu Ruyan go in, Chu Yao was worried and followed her in. Long Chun was speechless. Lu Ruyan was still as unyielding as ever, and Chu Yao was really good to Lu Ruyan. No matter what she did, Chu Yao would risk her life to accompany her, which made him a little jealous. Cough, cough, cough. At this moment, Lu Rujiao in the distance suddenly coughed up blood. Long Chun was startled. He waved his hand and pressed Lu Rujiao's back. The life force and soul force of the chaotic space poured into Lu Rujiao's body like a tide. With the help of Long Chun, Lu Rujiao finally breathed a sigh of relief. She said with horror, "What is that? The pressure directly crushed me. Did I tell you to stay on the 5th floor? What are you running around for?" Long Chun couldn't help but scold. Needless to say, this ignorant fellow ran to the 7th floor and was directly crushed by the pressure of the Hades Emperor. I saw Sister Ruyan and Sister Chu Yao both entered the next floor, so I followed them in to make a companion, but I didn't see their shadows, so I kept looking forward, and then, her voice trembled as she spoke. The pressure of the Hades Emperor contained endless murderous intent. Lu Rujiao was just a greenhouse flower. How could she resist the murderous intent that had been formed by slaughtering countless lives? She almost collapsed. You stay on the 5th floor honestly, and go to the 6th floor after 3 days. If you can hold on for an incense stick of time on the 6th floor, on the last day, I will take you to meet that mysterious guy. Long Chun said. Hearing that Long Chun was going to take her, Lu Rujiao was immediately refreshed, and her fear of the Hades Emperor also disappeared a lot. After resting for a while, without Long Chun's urging, she took the initiative to enter the 7 treasures space. Time passed little by little, and in the blink of an eye 10 days had passed. On this day, the atmosphere of the entire undead clan became extremely tense, because the news of Lu Changtian and Long Chen's bet had spread. In the undead clan there were no secrets at all. In the core area of the undead clan, the ground cracked open and a ring appeared. When the ring appeared, countless figures poured into the spectator seats like a tide. Suddenly, a figure appeared on the high platform in the east of the spectator seats. When that figure appeared, the noisy world instantly became silent. Lu Changtian appeared. His throne was located at the highest point of the viewing platform, overlooking the entire ring. There was only one position on the high platform, and it also demonstrated supreme power. When Lu Changtian arrived, the whole audience was silent. Everyone's eyes were filled with awe and admiration, as well as fanaticism. Originally, Lu Changtian should not have appeared so early, but for some reason he wanted to see the arrogant and hateful boy, or rather, he wanted to see the whole process of him going from being complacent to being dejected. So he arrived before Long Chun, and at the same time as he arrived, Lu Qingyu's figure also appeared on the ring. When they saw Lu Qingyu, the strong men in the audience exclaimed. At this time, Lu Qingyu's body was a whole circle taller than before. His whole body was covered with dense runes, and even his face was covered with lines like little snakes. His aura had completely changed, as if a volcano that had been sealed for billions of years was about to erupt. When he stood on the stage, the aura made even the strong men in the late stage of the God Queen feel frightened. Lu Mingho, the strongest among the Emperor seedlings, felt his scalp tingling. Lu Qingyu's aura made him feel terrified. He knew that his first throne had changed hands. There was endless envy in his eyes, and he also admired Lu Changtian more. What is a real strong man? 10 days can make a person reborn, rise like a comet, and shine forever. The young generation of strong men of the undead clan looked at Lu Qingyu's changes, and there was no one who didn't envy him. When they looked at Lu Changtian, there was more endless desire in their eyes. They longed to get the guidance of the emperor one day, and they also longed to become stronger. Lu Changtian chose to guide Lu Qingyu, not because of his high talent and perseverance, but because he was defeated by Long Chun. There were 2 people who were defeated by Long Chun. Long Chun chose Lu Rujiao, and Lu Qingyu's strength was far inferior to Lu Rujiao, so Lu Changtian chose him just to slap Long Chun in the face. Wow, Lord Emperor, you are here so early? I thought you would be training Lu Qingyu desperately at the last minute. At this moment, Long Chen's voice came from a distance. People turned their heads and saw Long Chun slowly walking with Lu Ruyan, Chu Yao and Lu Rujiao. Long Chun looked relaxed and calm, without a trace of nervousness, but still had the same arrogance as always. Lord Shihua on the viewing platform was speechless when he saw Long Chun. This Long Chen's ability to irritate people was the best in the world. Shut up, ignorant fool. Lord Emperor only taught me for 3 days and let me practice on my own. Seeing that Long Chun dared to tease Lord Emperor, Lu Qingyu on the stage could not help but get angry. Hearing Lu Qingyu's words, Long Chen's face changed. Then you are finished? Lu Rujiao has actually practiced for 10 days. It's a big joke. How can you, a small human race, compare with Lord Emperor? Lord Emperor's casual guidance to me is enough for Lu Rujiao to practice for 10 years. Lu Qingyu sneered. Hee. Kid, that's what I want you to say. Long Chun was happy all of a sudden. Sure enough, after hearing Lu Qingyu's words, Lu Rujiao's face instantly darkened. This Lu Qingyu was too bad at talking. If you want to criticize Long Chun, just criticize Long Chun. You should also criticize Lu Rujiao. You know, Lu Rujiao has experienced endless deaths in the Qibao space for the past 10 days. In that endless fighting, every breath was as long as 100 years. Lu Qingyu's words directly negated all her efforts, and the fire in her stomach was rising. Long Chun did not forget to add fuel to the fire and said, "See? This brat is arrogant and thinks that he is invincible with the guidance of Lord Emperor." Lu Rujiao gritted her teeth, walked directly to the arena, pointed at Lu Qingyu's nose, and said hatefully, "You are under the guidance of Lord Emperor. If you lose later, I will break all the bones in your body." Lu Qingyu was confused by being pointed at on the nose and scolded by Lu Rujiao. He had a very simple mind and could not hear the hidden meaning of Lu Rujiao's words at all. He sneered. "Lu Rujiao, you are not qualified to point fingers at me now. You are now a member of Long Chen's camp. I will not show mercy to you. Within 3 moves, I will suppress you with a wave of my hand. I will let you see what real power is and what the real magical powers of the Immortal clan are. You idiot, you don't have the ability of Lord Emperor, but you dare to imitate the domineering of Lord Emperor. Where do you get your confidence from?" Lu Rujiao said angrily. Facing Lu Rujiao's anger, Lu Qingyu thought that Lu Rujiao's anger was to cover up her inner fear, and said disdainfully, "Where my confidence comes from, you will know in a while. Dang." At this moment, the bell rang, which meant that the time for the competition had come. At the same time, the ring began to slowly sink, and the divine light kept flowing on the ring. Every time the divine light flowed, the ring was blessed with a layer of energy. After 7 consecutive blessings, the ring emerged with a metallic luster. The terrifying aura made even the strong men in the queen stage of the god realm feel a huge pressure. This ring was prepared for the strong men in the queen stage of the god realm. Now that it was used by 2 juniors in the heavenly saint realm, it can be seen how much they were valued. At this time, Lu Rujiao and Lu Qingyu were separated by the law, and a barrier emerged in the middle of the ring. According to the ring rules of the undead clan, this was to give them time to summon visions and improve their abilities. The undead clan is different from other races. They have too much energy in their bodies. If they want to mobilize it, they will be much slower than the human race, so they are given time to accumulate energy. However, neither Lu Qingyu nor Lu Rujiao summoned the vision, nor did they condense the dragon energy of the heavenly veins, and even the fluctuation of the power of the Emperor Seedling did not appear. I'll give you a chance. Why don't you quickly summon the vision, condense the dragon veins, and ignite the fire of the Emperor Seedling? Otherwise, let alone 3 moves, even 1 move, you can't take it. Seeing that Lu Rujiao did not make any move, Lu Qingyu sneered. Everyone was shocked. Lu Qingyu was so arrogant. But think about it, he has been reborn after receiving the guidance of the Emperor. I'm afraid he is not bragging. Apart from anything else, The breath that Lu Qingyu exudes from the inside out is enough to make people almost breathless. On the other hand, Lu Rujiao, her originally powerful breath, has become vague at this time, and she looks weak and soft, which makes people incomprehensible. However, Lu Rujiao's abnormal behavior made countless strong men feel a little shocked. How could Lu Rujiao at this time be so similar to Long Chun at that time? Long Chun at that time was also the same. Everyone underestimated Long Chun, and they all failed miserably. Could it be that Lu Rujiao? Buzz! At this moment, the barrier in the middle disappeared. Lu Qingyu shouted coldly. Runes all over his body glowed, and he rushed towards Lu Rujiao like a meteor. Oh my God! At the moment when Lu Qingyu made his move, the space in front of him collapsed, forming ripples. Under the impact of the ripples, the sound of wind and thunder exploded, shaking the world. Lu Qingyu did not use the power of vision, dragon veins, and Emperor Miao. But the impact was even more terrifying than when he burst out with all his strength. At that moment, the whole audience was shocked and even forgot to cheer. OM! Lu Qingyu's breath locked Lu Rujiao and punched out. On his fist, billions of runes flowed, and wind and thunder were parallel, smashing straight towards Lu Rujiao. Before the fist arrived, the entire arena was shaking slightly. The terrifying pressure made the spectators feel a tingling in their souls. The power of this blow was unimaginable. Facing Lu Qingyu's attack, Lu Rujiao snorted coldly, stretched out her palm, and slapped 3 times in a row. 3 transparent sharp blades flew out and slashed at Lu Qingyu. A mantis trying to stop a chariot is overestimating one's own strength. Seeing that Lu Rujiao used such a painless trick in the face of his punch, he couldn't help but sneer. Bang, bang, bang. 3 consecutive explosions. The transparent blade was shattered by Lu Qingyu's punch. This punch was unstoppable, and hit Lu Rujiao's face fiercely. Bang! However, what everyone didn't expect was that this punch that could break the sky was caught by Lu Rujiao's palm and stopped in midair. What? People were shocked, and Lu Qingyu's pupils shrank, with an expression of disbelief on his face. Lu Rujiao said coldly. Long Chan said that there are 3 obstacles to strength. 1 is slow, 2 is weak, and 3 is exhausted. Block its direction, slow its pace, weaken its stamina, and cut off its root so that you can win big with a small effort. Consume 7 or 8 out of 10 of your strength, and break it with a wave of your hand. The enemy will be exhausted, but you will not be damaged. This is the best way to fight. Bang! When Lu Rujiao finished speaking, she suddenly kicked out like lightning and hit the confused Lu Qingyu's lower abdomen fiercely. With a loud bang, Lu Qingyu was kicked away by Lu Rujiao, and he lay on the ground, holding his crotch and screaming in pain. All the strong men present shuddered. Seeing this scene, Lu Ruyan and Shu Yao couldn't help but look at Long Chun. Long Chun waved his hand hurriedly. I didn't teach you this move. Lu Rujiao's move is called the heart-piercing kick, but in actual application, the probability of piercing the heart is not high. It is generally used to pierce the eggs, and the hit rate is extremely high. Because of the limitations of human form, no matter which race, as long as it is male, as long as it is human, that part is definitely the weakest point. Long Chun didn't expect that Lu Rujiao would be so cruel, kicking Lu Qingyu's vitals directly, without leaving any face. It seems that she was really angry with Lu Qingyu's arrogance. You are despicable. Lu Qingyu cursed while holding his crotch, but he was not a real human after all, and his recovery ability was strong, and he recovered in an instant. Boom, boom. Lu Qingyu stretched out his arms, and endless runes bloomed all over his body, like a sun, lighting up the whole world. Endless divine light, like a sharp sword, shot out indiscriminately in all directions, and rushed out of the entire arena in an instant. Although Lu Qingyu suffered a loss, he still had absolute confidence in himself. Seeing that Lu Rujiao did not use the power of the dragon vein, he did not use it either. He directly crushed her violently and competed with Lu Ruyan with the power of origin. At this time, Lu Qingyu's power of origin was as vast as the sea, and it was many times stronger than before. He was confident that no one in the new generation of disciples was stronger than him. Boom, boom, boom. The divine light was endless, and thousands of paths were pierced. The consumption of this attack was amazing, but Lu Qingyu was not afraid. He made it impossible for Lu Rujiao to take shortcuts and crushed Lu Rujiao with absolute strength. "This time I'll see you," Lu Qingyu shouted arrogantly. Puff! However, before he finished shouting, a black sword slid from his neck, and a head soared into the sky. The sword cut off Lu Qingyu's neck, and also cut off the sky full of swords. Lu Rujiao's figure appeared behind Lu Qingyu. People only realized at this time that Lu Rujiao was still in the same position. There were already 2 Lu Rujiao on the stage. "How is this possible? We didn't see her perform the art of clones?" someone exclaimed. "There is only one possibility. When she stepped onto the ring, she had already deployed her clones, waiting for a suitable time to use them." An old man seemed to see the mystery. Lu Rujiao cut off Lu Qingyu's head with one sword, and then chopped him off with another sword. Boom! Lu Qingyu, who had lost his head, waved his arms to block. Runes flowed on his arms and turned into a shield, blocking Lu Rujiao's attack. With a loud bang, Lu Rujiao's sword and Lu Qingyu's shield exploded at the same time, and Lu Qingyu was shocked and retreated several steps. Puff! As he retreated, he felt a sudden pain in his back. A sharp sword pierced his back and came out from his chest. It turned out to be another Lu Rujiao. For a moment, 3 Lu Rujiao appeared on the ring. The strong men of the undead clan were shocked. They knew that Lu Rujiao had a powerful clone ability, but this move was simply unpredictable and many times more powerful than before. Lu Qingyu had experienced this move before, but when he saw Lu Rujiao's ghostly body movement again, he couldn't help but feel his scalp tingling. Boom! Lu Qingyu was stabbed by the sword, and he roared. The runes on his body burst out, and he actually exploded the long sword in his body. Lu Rujiao was shocked and flew far away. Lu Rujiao's face was as cold as water. She walked towards Lu Qingyu step by step, muttering. Long Chan said that hiding a weapon, waiting for an opportunity, finding an opening to strike, and killing with one move is the real way to defend against the enemy. Your moves are flashy and unrealistic, your movements are stiff and ineffective, and there are countless flaws and loopholes. Even if you are 10 times stronger than me, you can only die in the ring. At this time, Lu Rujiao's eyes were cold and ruthless, and the murderous aura was released inadvertently. Her voice was like ice chips which made people shudder. Is she still the original Lu Rujiao? Could she be possessed by something? Someone screamed. They didn't know that Lu Rujiao had experienced countless deaths, and her state of mind had changed. It was not obvious at ordinary times, but once she started fighting, she would easily enter the killing state in the 7 treasure space. Fortunately, Lu Rujiao knew that Lu Qingyu in front of her was not an enemy, so she showed mercy every time she attacked. Otherwise Lu Qingyu would have died long ago. You idiot, you keep calling me Long Chan. Have you forgotten that you are from the undead clan? Today I will wake you up, the traitor. Lu Qingyu was frustrated continuously and was furious. He roared and stretched out the vision. 13 dragon veins burned out, and the Emperor Seedling's aura bloomed rapidly. Boom! Lu Qingyu suddenly formed seals with his hands, and the vision, dragon veins, and Emperor Seedling's power behind him disappeared in an instant, and then a dragon shadow appeared in front of him. When the dragon shadow appeared, the faces of the strong men of the undead clan changed drastically, and even Lu Chongtian shouted angrily, Idiot, are you trying to kill her? Stop. No, I just want to prove to them that the majesty of the Emperor cannot be violated by anyone. Facing Lu Chongtian's rebuke, Lu Qingyu did not stop his actions. The dragon's breath became stronger and stronger, and the violent breath even caused the indestructible arena to begin to crack. Stop or you will die too, Lu Chongtian cursed. Lu Chongtian did not expect that Lu Qingyu would be so violent. This move was not something he could control at all. This move could not be stopped. If he forcibly stopped it, Lu Qingyu would die. If he did not stop it, Lu Rujiao had been locked and she would definitely die. Lu Chongtian could not help but be furious. Why did he teach such a fool? If you want to kill me, then let's see if you have the ability. Being locked by such a terrifying attack, Lu Rujiao's long hair stood on end. The strong breath of death made her roar, and the power of the vision, dragon veins, and the emperor's seedlings were all summoned. She flicked her palm and a flaming lotus bloomed rapidly. The fire of the moon? When seeing the flame in Lu Rujiao's palm, Lord Shihua couldn't help but exclaimed and recognized the origin of the flame. The dark dragon breaks the sky, the world-destroying fire lotus. With the roar of the two, in the horrified eyes of countless people, the sky-covering dragon and the sky-swallowing lotus collided fiercely. Boom! The giant dragon and the lotus collided, shaking the earth. Lord Shihua formed a seal with his jade hands, and 4 wooden pillars appeared at the 4 corners of the ring at the same time, forming a 4-sided barrier. As soon as the barrier was formed, the ring was shattered into pieces. Affected by the barrier, the violent power soared into the sky, straight into the clouds, and pierced through the sky wall. In the void, billions of stars could be seen flowing. At that moment, all the strong men in the audience were stunned. Even the strong men in the queen stage of the god realm could not help but shudder. This blow had the power to kill the strong men of their level. Even the strongest purple crown god emperor could not withstand such a terrifying blow. Is this really the power that 2 little kids in the heavenly saint realm should have? Boom, boom. The violent power was still rising, just like a volcanic eruption. The void above people's heads was rippled and spread continuously. There were thousands of roars, and the scene was extremely terrifying. The young generation of disciples were pale at this time. If it weren't for Master Shihua's attack, the aftermath alone would probably have killed them. The Emperor Miao-level masters all had complicated expressions, especially those who ranked high, such as Lu Mingho. Originally, their strengths were on par with each other, and they were fighting for that tiny difference. But now, seeing the violent attack of these 2 people, they felt as if they were thrown into the abyss all of a sudden. The gap now became desperate. It's only been 10 days? How could 10 days create such a huge difference? What happened in the middle? After a few breaths, the gushing power finally turned from prosperity to decline. Master Shihua removed the barrier, and suddenly a terrifying wave of air gushed out. Even though it was the aftermath, it still had a suffocating power. As the site was restored, people found that the original arena had already collapsed, and it was replaced by a new arena. 2 embarrassed figures on the arena lay there motionless. Lu Qingyu's arms and the area below his waist had all disappeared, and his body was burnt, looking extremely tragic. Lu Rujiao was not much better off. Half of her body was shot through. She lay there crookedly, her whole body cracked, and she was almost blown up. They are still alive. Soon, people were excited to find that the 2 still had life breath. They couldn't help but be surprised and happy. It was a miracle that the 2 were still alive after such a terrifying blow. Whether it was Lu Qingyu or Lu Rujiao, they both showed strong fighting power. They would be the leaders of the undead clan in the future. If they all died, it would be a huge loss for the undead clan. Kaka! At this moment, Lu Rujiao's body trembled. She kept struggling. Her body, which was almost about to collapse, stood up slowly with her efforts. Seeing this scene, Long Chun was speechless for a while. He held a leaf in his hand and sent a soul message at the same time. Stupid, what are you doing standing up? Are you going to hit your emperor in the face? Lie down quickly. Lu Rujiao tried her best to stand up. It was completely the instinct of a strong person. She has always been the pride of the undead clan. No matter what kind of opponent she faced, she would go all out. She didn't know that Lu Qingyu could no longer stand up. After hearing Long Chun using the natal leaf to transmit a message to her, Lu Rujiao finally came to her senses. She suddenly spat out a mouthful of blood and fell down again. This time, after falling to the ground, Lu Rujiao completely fainted. She was not pretending because she had really reached her limit. When Lu Rujiao fell to the ground, Lord Shihua breathed a sigh of relief, looked at Long Chun, then looked at Lu Chongtian, whose face was ashen, coughed dryly and said, "In this battle, both of them have gone all out, but neither can suppress the other, so they can only settle for a draw." Hearing Lord Shihua's words, the strong men of the undead clan were relieved. If Lord Emperor lost, the undead clan would be finished. This is indeed the best outcome. However, the strong men of the undead clan, from top to bottom, no one dared to look down on Long Chan anymore, and even felt awe for him from the depths of their souls. In just 10 days, Lu Rujiao was reborn and defeated such a powerful Lu Qingyu. This guy is simply a monster. If this battle is settled in a draw, then neither side will suffer any loss and both will retain their face. This is the best result. Chu Yao and Lu Ruyan looked at each other, and both of them showed a relieved smile on their faces. In this way, Lu Chongtian might not embarrass Long Chen. However, at this moment Long Chen said, "If we settle for a draw, it would be too unfair, right?" As soon as Long Chen said this, everyone's face changed. Lord Shihua's heart was pounding. What is this kid going to do? He wouldn't want Lu Chongtian to admit defeat and admit that he was the old lamp, right? Lu Ruyan and Chu Yao were frightened by Long Chen's words. They could have gotten away with it, so what were you going to do? Long Chen sighed and said, "I worked hard and trained Lu Rujiao day and night for 10 days, while Lu Qingyu only had 3 days of instruction from the emperor, but the two ended up in a tie. It's obvious that I lost, and I'm going to fulfill my promise now." As he spoke, Long Chen pretended to walk out, and at this time Lu Chongtian finally spoke. "Forget it. Let's stop here." After Lu Chongtian finished speaking, he waved his sleeves and disappeared. He was not a fool, so how could he not know that Long Chen was deliberately saving his face? Besides, with his cultivation, even if Long Chen secretly sent a message to Lu Rujiao, how could he not notice it? He had no face to stay here, so he had to leave. Seeing Lu Chongtian leave, Master Shihua smiled and was in a good mood. He secretly gave Long Chen a thumbs up. Long Chen played this move so beautifully. "Bad guy, I was scared to death by you." Lu Ruyan hit Long Chen lightly, with a smile on her face, but also with tears. She was really scared to death just now. At this time, there were already some old generation strong men who went to the ring to heal Lu Rujiao and Lu Qingyu respectively. For the Immortal clan, as long as there is a little chance of survival, there is room for rescue. The word Immortal is not called for nothing. The battle ended, and the rest of the people dispersed. Only Master Shihua stayed. Everyone looked at each other, and suddenly everyone laughed. There was no better result than this. Master Shihua has been worried all the time. She was even more anxious than Lu Ruyan. Fortunately, everything was under Long Chen's control, and it ended peacefully and beautifully. Master Shihua had to admire Long Chen's means and wisdom. At the same time, she also understood what Long Chen meant when he said that day, "He has a way." Through this battle, he also proved that he was not bragging. In 10 days, Lu Rujiao has undergone a drastic change. If you don't see it with your own eyes, you can't believe it at all. Master Shihua looked at Long Chen with complicated eyes. Just as he was about to speak, a strange look suddenly appeared on his face. He said with a smile, "Master Emperor summoned us." The temple was in the air, surrounded by fairy air. From here, you can see the entire undead demon forest. Looking up at the sky, you can see a towering willow, extending above the sky, and the willow branches extending into the sea of stars. When Long Chen came here, he couldn't help but be shocked by the scene here. This kind of shocking scene, Long Chen had only seen it once. That is to watch the entire universe from the perspective of the Chaos Dragon Emperor. But in the sky, there are stars and the eyes can't see far, because looking far away, those dark spaces seem to be able to swallow people's souls. In the past, Long Chen didn't feel anything. But now that he has reached this realm, facing those dark spaces, he will feel something that makes him shudder. Lu Ruyan and Chu Yao were also shocked by the scene in front of them. Obviously, they were here for the first time. This is the place where Lord Emperor practices. So far, no one has been invited here except me. Lord Xihua smiled like a flower, happy like a girl. She didn't expect that Lu Changtian would actually invite Long Chun and the others to come here, but after thinking about it, she understood that Long Chun had given Lu Changtian a lot of face, and Lu Changtian was also an extremely competitive person who refused to be inferior to others and showed the demeanor of a king. In this way, Master Xihua was completely relieved. As long as Long Chun did not take the initiative to provoke Lu Changtian should not make things too difficult for Long Chun. The matter of Lu Ruyan had a good result. Come in. At this time, Lu Changtian's majestic voice came, and Master Xihua stuck out his tongue at the three people and raised his eyebrows, meaning that everyone should go in and be careful when speaking. It was the first time that Long Chun saw Master Xihua showing such a naughty expression, and he was a little uncomfortable for a moment, but thinking about it, it should be that Master Xihua had been with Lu Ruyan and Chu Yao for a long time and was also brought up not so serious. Long Chun couldn't help but feel a little funny. The people of the undead clan were all very simple and had no scheming. Entering the hall, I found that the hall was extremely simple. There was almost nothing else except 8 golden dragon pillars supporting the hall. When Long Chun saw the lifelike dragon pattern on the golden dragon pillar, his heartbeat accelerated. He was surprised to find that the dragon pattern engraved on the dragon pillar should be the peerless magical power of the dragon clan. Because Long Chun saw a dragon soaring into the sky, raising its head and stretching its claws, with auspicious clouds entwined and golden light shining for thousands of miles. It was the move of Yunlong Xianzhao. When Long Chun saw the dragon pillar, his eyes were immediately attracted. He even forgot to salute Lu Changtian, who was sitting cross-legged in the center of the hall. He stared at the dragon pillars blankly, motionless. At that moment, the dragon blood in Long Chun's body began to become active. Long Chun couldn't help but be secretly surprised. This is definitely the top magical power of the dragon clan. He has never seen many of them. How could it appear in the Immortal clan? Long Chun. Seeing that Long Chun was in a daze, but did not salute Lu Changtian, it was too rude. Lu Ruyan gently pulled Long Chun. Long Chun finally reacted and bowed slightly. Greetings, Lord Emperor. For a proud person like Lu Changtian, he will not be fond of you because of your respect, nor will he be disgusted with you because of your impoliteness. Anyway, no matter what, he looks down on you, and Long Chun is too lazy to do too much superficial work. Just deal with it. If you want to get Lu Changtian's recognition, you can only rely on your strength, and the rest is nothing. The more humble you are, the more he looks down on you. Lu Ruyan and Chu Yao don't understand this. Seeing Long Chun casually bowing his hands and fooling around, their hearts suddenly rose to their throats. They just had a good start, and there would be no more accidents. However, everything was just as Long Chun expected. Lu Changtian didn't care about this superficial effort at all. In the hall, under a dragon pillar, Lu Changtian sat cross-legged on a cushion, glanced at everyone, and nodded slightly. Sit down. Hearing Lu Changtian's offer of a seat, Lady Xihua was happy. It seemed that in her memory, Lu Changtian had never allowed anyone to sit at the same height as him. Lu Ruyan and Chu Yao sat down carefully. It was obvious that they were a little nervous, but Long Chun sat down generously. After sitting down, he did not forget to look around. The tense atmosphere did not affect him at all. Excuse me, where did this thing come from? Long Chun pointed at the dragon pillar and couldn't help asking. Lu Ruyan and Chu Yao felt dizzy. Why is this idiot like this? How can he speak so casually? That is the emperor of the Immortal clan. Even if he wants to ask questions, he should be humble and respectful. They were afraid that Lu Changtian would directly blast Long Chun out. Wouldn't that be a good start? However, what everyone did not expect was that in the face of Long Chun's rudeness, Lu Changtian did not get angry, but looked at the dragon pillar and said, "This is a relic entrusted to me by a friend of mine from the dragon clan before he died." After that, his race was completely destroyed. At this point, a trace of loneliness appeared on Lu Changtian's serious face. Now that the 9 heavens are connected, I don't know how the dragon clan is now. Where is the orthodoxy? I want to return these relics to the dragon clan. The orthodoxy is here. Long Chun pointed at his nose and said seriously. Lu Changtian frowned and looked at Long Chen and said, "Although the human race is shameless, you can be so shameless, which is unprecedented. You are a human known as the orthodoxy of the Dragon Clan. Is there anyone as shameless as you in the world?" Seeing Lu Changtian scolding Long Chen for being shameless, Lord Shihua couldn't help but feel a burst of laughter, while Lu Ruyan and Chu Yao looked worried and couldn't laugh at all. "You don't understand, right? Although I am a human and I only have a part of dragon blood in my body, my dragon blood is the most orthodox, and the inheritance I received is also the most orthodox, and it is as orthodox as it can be." Long Chen said. "How to prove it?" Lu Changtian said. "Simple." Long Chen said. Flicking his finger, a drop of purple dragon blood flew out and landed on a dragon pillar. Boom, boom. The golden dragon pillar trembled suddenly, and then the dragon pattern on the dragon pillar seemed to come alive. The deafening sound of the dragon roar echoed in the hall, and the dragon pattern flowed. The magical power of the dragon pillar actually evolved automatically on the dragon pillar. At the same time, purple mist was in front of the dragon pillar. This is one of the unique ways of inheritance of dragon blood. Use the essence of blood to activate the inheritance pillar, and then absorb the blood mist. In this way, learning and inheriting is simpler and faster than the inheritance of the human race. However, the essence of blood that Long Chen flicked out was too scarce, and it was not enough to stimulate the true inheritance power of the magical power. The blood mist dissipated as soon as it appeared. Long Chen's drop of dragon blood was not intended to activate the magical power of the dragon pillar, but just to prove it to Lu Changtian. Lu Changtian was an old monster who survived the Chaos era and was on good terms with the Dragon Clan. He should have known that in order to activate magical powers, all of his blood must be exchanged. And Long Chen only used one drop of blood to trigger such a big commotion, which proved that what Long Chen said just now was true. In fact, Lu Changtian invited Long Chen here to verify his own guess. Now, everything is almost the same as he expected. Lu Changtian looked at the dragon pillar for a long time, and suddenly asked, "Lord Chaos Dragon Emperor, are you still alive?" When he heard Lu Changtian's words, Long Chen's thoughts were further confirmed. All of this was Lu Changtian's test of him. "Lord Chaos Dragon Emperor is still alive," Long Chen said. After getting Long Chen's answer, although Lu Changtian and Lady Shihua were prepared, they still couldn't help but feel their hearts beating wildly. Chaos Dragon Emperor, that is a famous existence in the 9 heavens. Lu Changtian grew up listening to the legend of Chaos Dragon Emperor. Although the human race once stood at the top of all races, in the minds of all races, only the dragon race is qualified to stand at the highest position in this world. At the same time, because of the Lord of the 9 stars, all races are restricted to the realm of the human emperor. There are not a few who are hostile to the human race like Lu Changtian. After getting Long Chen's answer, Lu Changtian nodded, and the coldness and arrogance in his eyes also eased a little. Although Long Chen did not say anything specifically, his actions and words have already shown his identity as the descendant of Chaos Dragon Emperor. This identity alone is enough to shock everyone. Although Lu Changtian is the emperor of the Immortal clan, he also needs to maintain absolute respect for the Chaos Dragon Emperor. At the same time, Long Chen's identity also made him feel much more comfortable. He seemed to feel that this identity was worthy of Lu Ruyan's status. "What is your relationship with the Dan Emperor?" Lu Changtian asked again. Long Chen was stunned. This question was asked a little too suddenly. Long Chen couldn't help but look at Lu Ruyan and Chu Yao. The two also looked at her. From their expressions, it can be seen that the two have not revealed Long Chen's identity as an alchemist. Think about it carefully. Even if Long Chen can make pills, ordinary people can't contact the Dan Emperor at all. Besides, Long Chen has never revealed the Dan Emperor's memory to anyone. Seeing Long Chen's shocked face, Lu Changtian was also stunned. And then he understood that Long Chen didn't know the secret of the purple blood in his body at all. "Since you don't know about this, just pretend I didn't ask. You saved my face in the last competition, and I remember it. However, If you think that this will naturally make me surrender and marry my daughter to you, you underestimate me, Lu Changtian. Lu Changtian said. The first sentence made Lu Ruyan and the other two very happy. But the latter sentence immediately made the three people's hearts rise to their throats. If Lu Changtian thought that Long Chun was threatening him, then he was finished. With Lu Changtian's pride, he would not compromise with anyone. If you think so, you underestimate me, Long Chun. Do you need your consent to my woman? No matter if it's cheating, I will get it. If you don't believe it, let's wait and see. Long Chun said disdainfully. You! This was the first time in Lu Changtian's life that he heard such shameless words, and he almost laughed out of anger. I have lived for endless years, and this is the first time I have seen such a shameless person like you. Shameless words can be said so blatantly and as a matter of course, which is simply shameless to the extreme. Long Chun said disdainfully. For the woman you love, let alone bear the shameless reputation, even if you are against the whole world, what can you do? Long Chen's words moved Lady Xihua. In her cognition, she couldn't understand that a person could really do this for love, and Lu Ruyan's delicate body trembled slightly. At that moment, Long Chen's heart suddenly shone brightly, and the worries and fears in her heart were swept away. Long Chen dared to face the challenge of the whole world for her. Couldn't she resist the oppression from her father? Just lie to the children. How can you believe the words of the human race? Lu Changtian saw Lu Ruyan's touching face and snorted coldly. Hee hee. How can a heartless person listen to the words of love? Long Chen smiled. No matter how stupid Lu Changtian was, he could hear that Long Chun was saying that he was a frog in a well and a summer insect talking about ice. This kid was too arrogant. This was clearly a mockery of him for not understanding feelings. Lu Changtian's face darkened at that time, and the atmosphere in the hall instantly fell to the freezing point. However, Long Chun was not afraid at all and said calmly, if one day, you can go through life and death for Master Xihua, and sacrifice your life for her, then it will not be too late to mock me. Lord Emperor's life belongs to the undead clan. His goal is to lead the entire undead clan to glory. He shoulders the great mission of reviving the undead clan. How can he give up his precious life for a woman like me? Lady Xihua finally couldn't help it and refuted Long Chun. Long Chun shook his head and said, if you can't clean up your own house, how can you clean up the world? If you can't even protect your own woman, why do you want to protect the entire clan? If you can't even protect the dignity of your lover, how can you let the undead clan proudly pass on? When Long Chun said this, Lady Xihua suddenly became a little anxious. She was about to refute Long Chun, but Lu Changtian stretched out his hand to stop her. Although you are a very annoying person, I have to say that what you said still makes some sense. Last time, Xihua stood up for me and was indeed wronged. This is indeed my fault. Lord Emperor. Lady Xihua was stunned. Lu Changtian looked at Lady Xihua, and a rare tenderness appeared in his eyes. Xihua, take them both out first. I have something to say to Long Chun alone. Being stared at by Lu Changtian's gentle eyes, Lady Xihua couldn't help but tremble. It was the first time in her life that she was treated like this by Lu Changtian. She couldn't help but be stunned. In the end, the three of them left the hall, leaving only Long Chun and Lu Changtian. For a moment, the hall was a little scary. You are not going to kill people to silence them. Long Chun saw Lu Changtian staring at him, and couldn't help but feel a little hairy. Lu Changtian didn't answer him directly. He looked at the dragon pillar and said, once, I also had a beloved woman. Like you, I could give up my life for her without hesitation. It's a pity that she is a dragon clan, and I am an immortal clan. Our identities are equal, and we both shoulder huge responsibilities and missions. At this point, Lu Changtian couldn't help but sighed. Long Chun couldn't help but feel a little uneasy when he heard this. Lu Changtian told all his secrets. He wouldn't really kill him. If I had your courage back then, maybe the ending would not be like this. In the end, she died with endless regrets, and I survived with endless regrets. Whenever I think about it, I feel heartbroken. You said I was ruthless because I didn't dare to touch that feeling. Human race, you really hurt people a lot. Love is a knife that kills without blood. Lu Chongtian's sigh echoed throughout the hall. Long Chun was silent. At this time, he finally understood that behind Lu Chongtian's ruthlessness was the true love that had been sealed for countless years. He didn't want his people to experience the pain he experienced. My ruthlessness has made Xihua suffer. Love should not be so humble, and it should not be a kind of pity and reward. Alas! Speaking of Lord Xihua, Lu Chongtian's voice was full of pain and guilt. Hearing this, Long Chun immediately understood that the person Lu Chongtian loved was the one who entrusted the dragon pillar to him. He stayed here for many years, which was enough to prove that he was deeply in love and couldn't extricate himself. Now, Long Chen's words have stirred his thoughts. This arrogant emperor is just an ordinary infatuated man at this moment. The reason why people can't feel happiness is because they think that everything they have is taken for granted. Only when they lose what they once had, they will understand how precious it is. You have already lost it once, so you should know that no matter how strong you are, you can't bear such a blow twice. Long Chen said. Lu Chongtian nodded. This secret has been weighing on his heart for countless years. Now that he has spoken it out, the whole person has become much more relaxed. Although Long Chen hates it, Long Chun can understand every word Lu Chongtian said, which makes Lu Chongtian, who has always been lonely, have an illusion of a confidant. Taking a deep breath, Lu Chongtian calmed himself down, turned to look at Long Chun and said, "Let's make a deal." "I refuse." "Lord Emperor, what is in the deep space?" Long Chun couldn't help asking. Lu Chongtian turned around, looked at Long Chun and said, "It doesn't matter what it is. You just need to know that there is not much time left for you and this world." Long Chen's heart skipped a beat. Why did Lu Chongtian's tone sound the same as that mysterious voice, always saying that there was not much time left? Could it be referring to the same thing? "Don't talk about this heavy topic. I really want to know what you meant by scolding me." "Old Deng, that day." Lu Chongtian suddenly changed the subject. "Damn, this turn is too fast. There is no preparation at all?" Long Chun was speechless. Lu Chongtian's brain jumped without any signs. Chu Yao and Lu Ruyan were also killed by surprise. They were calm just now, but suddenly became tense. If they had a bad heart, they would have to go directly. "You are joking. How can I scold you?" Long Chun said awkwardly. But he knew that once Lu Chongtian asked, it would be impossible for him to be vague. This guy would not tolerate any grain of sand in his eyes. Long Chun said seriously, "In our human race, the lamp is a symbol of glory. It burns itself and illuminates others, just as you use your own glory to point the way forward for the immortal race. And the old lamp refers to the honorific title of those whose seniority, qualifications, and contributions have reached an extreme." "Fuck, Long Chen, you are really shameless." At this time, the contemptuous voice of Chen Kuan-ding came from the chaotic space. It had just heard Long Chen's explanation of the old lamp as an insult. Now in his mouth it has become a word of praise. The most important thing is that his explanation is almost perfect and impeccable. Since its birth, Chen Kuan-ding has never encountered such a shameless person who responds so quickly. "Really?" Lu Chongtian looked at Long Chun, smiling. Obviously he was not so easy to fool. Long Chun said seriously, "Of course it is true. When the old lamp is burning, it will continue to add raw oil to make it shine to the maximum." Add oil, it means to add oil to the lamp to help its strength, prolong its life, and raise its spirit. So we often shout, old lamp, come on." Seeing that Long Chun said it seriously, it seemed that this sentence was not an insult, but Long Chen's tone and expression that day always felt that this word was not a good word. However, Long Chun explained it this way. Lu Chongtian also accepted it happily and did not pursue it. Seeing that he was fooled, Long Chun secretly wiped a cold sweat. The ancients said that accompanying the king is like accompanying a tiger. It is really true. This temper is really weird. After chatting for a few more sentences, Lu Chongtian said seriously, Originally, I had a plan to implement it after the children advanced to the human emperor realm. However, it seems that this plan can be advanced now. Long Chen, hurry up. I have an important task for you. Just give your orders, Lord Emperor. I will go through fire and water without hesitation. Long Chen hurriedly saluted, looking loyal. Lu Changtian glanced at Long Chen with his eyes slanted. This guy was so smart that he climbed up as soon as he was given a pole. He sealed the relationship with just one sentence and didn't give him a chance to refuse. Lu Changtian didn't say anything and turned to leave. After Lu Changtian left, Lu Ruyan and Chu Yao couldn't help but jump up excitedly and threw themselves into Long Chen's arms. When they learned that all the Emperor Seed-level masters had to accept Long Chen's training, countless people were angry at first. How could the great undead clan be driven by the human race? But when they thought of Lu Rujiao, her terrifying combat power, and the last move of the world-destroying magical power, they were all moved. Of course, whether they were willing or not, it didn't matter because this was the order of the Lord Emperor. For absolute safety and confidentiality, Lu Changtian arranged a place for Long Chen alone, surrounded by mountains and heavy barriers. Except for Lord Shihua, no one else was allowed to step into it. Although Lu Changtian believed that the undead clan would never have traitors, the undead clan was very lacking in formations and could be easily spied on from a distance. This was also done for absolute safety. This absolute safety on the one hand refers to the undead clan, and on the other hand it is also for Long Chen. Long Chen was able to expose such a heaven-defying ability to the undead clan, which also shows that Long Chen can really give everything for Lu Ruyan. It is precisely because of this that Lu Changtian, who has always been extremely repulsive to the human race, will accept Long Chen. Otherwise, even if Long Chen has the identity of the descendant of the Chaos Dragon Emperor, he may not buy it. Among the mountains, a peak rises to the sky, standing out among the mountains. Around the peak, there is a faint green light rain falling, which distorts the space and isolates all prying eyes. On the peak, the 7 treasures glazed tree blooms, and the huge tree canopy covers most of the peak. Under the glazed tree, many Emperor Miao strongmen of the undead clan are looking at the huge glazed tree with shock on their faces. Many people began to talk about it. They are nervous and expectant. Buzz! While everyone was talking, a figure appeared in front of everyone. It was Lu Rujiao who defeated Lu Qingyu. Lu Rujiao looked at everyone and said, "Everyone, today is our first day of training. Everything here is my responsibility." "Wait, why is it you? Where is Long Chen?" Lu Qingyu was the first to stand up and said. His tone was not polite, and it was obvious that he was still upset about losing to Lu Rujiao. "From now on, you'd better add the word, sir, after Long Chen. Otherwise it will be too rude." Lu Rujiao looked at Lu Qingyu and said coldly, "You? Is he worthy?" Lu Qingyu was furious. "If you think he is not worthy, you can go away. No one will stop you," Lu Rujiao said coldly. Lu Qingyu's face changed and his fists clenched instantly. "What? Not convinced? Then let you taste the taste of failure again. This time, I will let you have one hand." Lu Rujiao sneered. "You are bullying too much." Lu Qingyu shouted angrily and was about to take action. But at this time Lu Mingho stood up. He shouted coldly, "Qingyu, calm down. Do you want to go against the will of the emperor?" "But Lu Rujiao, she is clearly a villain." Lu Qingyu pointed at Lu Rujiao and said with a wronged face. Although his strength at this time is far better than Lu Mingho, he knows that Lu Mingho has amazing potential. This first place may still be his in the future, so he dare not be too presumptuous. Rujiao is right. When facing a strong person, you need to be respectful and humble. If you are not convinced, you can work hard to become stronger and defeat Rujiao, and then let Rujiao call you Master Qingyu. Instead of putting on airs for the sake of so-called face, this only shows our incompetence and humility. Lu Mingho said. Hearing Lu Mingho's words, everyone couldn't help but admire him in their hearts. He is worthy of being the Lu Mingho who has been dominating the list for a long time. This mind and knowledge alone are enough to impress people. Lu Rujiao nodded. She had always been very respectful to Lu Mingho, After hearing what he said, she felt a little embarrassed. She said, "It's not that I don't want to tell you the reason why Long Chun didn't come, but I'm afraid you can't stand it." "What can't you stand? Just say it." Lu Mingho smiled. Long Chun said, "People of our level are not qualified to get his guidance." Lu Rujiao smiled bitterly. "This is too arrogant. It's too arrogant. Isn't this deliberately humiliating people?" For a moment, the strong men of the undead clan were suddenly furious. This was too arrogant. Long Chun expected you to say such things, and then he said, "I hope we won't be angry, because he said the truth." In addition, he also said that his words were not directed at a certain person, but at all of us. Lu Rujiao sighed. "Lu Rujiao, you are at least the top strong man of our undead clan. How could you let him humiliate us like this?" A disciple said dissatisfiedly. "What can I do? I can't last more than 3 moves in his hands. I want to refute, but first I have to have the strength to do so." Lu Rujiao said unhappily. "No way. How is this possible?" Everyone was shocked for a moment. This guy hid too deeply. We were all deceived by him. In fact, I have long disliked him. But what can I do? Lu Rujiao said with a wronged look. She told everyone that just now she had fought with Long Chun because of his words that despised the many emperors of the undead clan. As a result, Long Chun subdued her with the first move. Knowing that she was not convinced, she tried again, but in the second move, Long Chun tapped her forehead with one finger. Everyone saw a burnt black spot on Lu Rujiao's forehead, and then they believed that what Lu Rujiao said was true, and at the same time they also understood that Lu Rujiao was still on the same side with them. Sister Ruyan secretly told me that Long Chun is the best at disguising himself. His real trump card will never be known to others. In other words, the strength we see on the surface is just the tip of the iceberg. Otherwise, why would Lord Emperor let him teach us? How wise is Lord Emperor? There must be a deep meaning in this. After hearing Lu Rujiao's words, everyone was shocked. Could this guy who looks annoying really be so strong? He is not even an Emperor Miao. But think about how far Lord Emperor has a vision. If Long Chun did not have real ability, how could he let the Emperor Miao of the undead clan learn from the human race? When they thought of this, their resistance was immediately reduced a lot. At the same time, they also had a strong desire to win. They wanted to try whether Long Chun was really that strong. Okay. Stop talking so much useless things. Get ready. The training is about to begin. Lu Rujiao said. Prepare for what? Everyone asked. Prepare to die. Lu Rujiao said. OM. At this moment, the 7 treasures glazed tree trembled, and the 7-colored divine light instantly enveloped everyone. Ah! In an instant, countless people screamed, and their eyes were full of fear. Seeing the fear and embarrassment in their eyes, Lu Rujiao suddenly showed a smile on her face. Seeing that you are also so unbearable, I feel relieved. What's going on? What is that? Am I dead? Or are we all dead? In the first round, everyone, including Lu Mingho, was sent out. Even those as powerful as Lu Mingho and Lu Qingyu only lasted half a breath longer than the others. Seeing this scene, Lu Rujiao couldn't help but sigh inwardly. Long Chun was right. The Tianjiao of the undead clan was strong, but it was useless. They had mountains of gold and silver, but lived a life of begging. They didn't know how to use their powerful strength to condense into real lethality. In the face of absolute death, they seemed so fragile. Even as powerful as Lu Mingho and Lu Qingyu, there was no difference. In the face of death, all beings were equal. Even some powerful people were not as good as ordinary people. They were more panicked and died faster. Facing the shocked and horrified eyes of Lu Qingyu and others, Lu Rujiao put away her previous arrogance and coldness, and became much calmer and gentler, and said, "This is Long Chen's way of cultivation. Those fierce enemies in it are all the souls who died at the hands of Long Chen. Their moves were copied by the sacred tree and included in the sacred tree world. In the sacred tree world, We will complete the first transformation of our lives. Hearing Lu Rujiao's words, Lu Qingyu and others' hearts were pounding, and their faces showed disbelief. Did they all die at the hands of Long Chen? You don't have to be surprised, let alone doubt. The enemies you encountered were all killed by Long Chen. In addition, I have another unpleasant news. The sacred tree space is divided into 7 layers, and the difficulty increases in sequence. This is just the 5th layer. Lu Rujiao said. The sacred tree space was the name Lu Rujiao gave herself. Long Chen did not tell her the name of the 7 treasures glazed tree. This name is not convenient for people to know. Hearing Lu Rujiao's words, everyone felt uncomfortable. They knew that Lu Rujiao would not lie to them. They were all peerless geniuses, and the Emperor Miao strongmen of the undead clan were so vulnerable here. They immediately felt that their self-confidence was greatly hit. You don't have to be sad. What you have experienced is also what I experienced at the beginning. Long Chen said that without experiencing the painful struggle in the cocoon, there will be no glorious achievement of turning from a cocoon into a butterfly. You get what you sow. There are not so many shortcuts on the road of cultivation. Even if there are, you must pay the price in the future. In her words, we have taken too many shortcuts, so we need to use the death trial to temper our foundation, soul and will. Although it is a bit painful, you have seen the results. Lu Rujiao smiled proudly. The warriors of the undead clan are not afraid of death, so what are they afraid of pain? Rujiao, continue. As long as you can't practice to death, practice to death. I want to go to the 7th floor. Lu Qingyu's blood burned and he yelled. When they thought that Lu Rujiao could improve her combat power to such a terrifying level in just 10 days, everyone's blood boiled. They were no longer afraid, but more expectant. Warriors of the Immortal clan, let's charge together. Lu Rujiao shouted, and the divine light of the 7 treasures glazed tree fell, once again enveloping everyone. Puff, puff, puff. In the 7 treasures space there was endless killing. All kinds of creatures, like evil spirits, used the most fierce moves. Many creatures seemed weak, but their moves were fierce, with amazing lethality, and they were not afraid of death at all. Their lethality was extremely terrifying. If it was just 1 or 2, it would be fine, but these creatures were coming like a tide, and no one could bear it. The strong men of the undead clan could not stop them at all. Lu Qingyu released his ultimate move crazily, but was pierced through the head by a sword energy and kicked out of the 7 treasures space. I% Yuan. Lu Qingyu was killed and cursed angrily. He did not rest and rushed into the 7 treasures space again with a roar. As a result, he just saw the sword cultivator who was madly slaughtering the strong men of the undead clan. Seeing the disciples of the undead clan being crushed by the sword energy and turned into white light and disappeared, he was furious and rushed towards the sword cultivator. As a result, just when he rushed to his back and was about to launch a sneak attack, the sword cultivator slashed with a sword without even looking back. Puff! Lu Qingyu was instantly split into 2 pieces by a sword. When Lu Qingyu was killed, he heard Lu Rujiao's voice in the distance. Stupid, sword cultivators cannot be attacked by surprise. I don't believe it. Lu Qingyu roared, and rushed into the 7 treasures space again. As a result, he had just determined the location of the sword cultivator and was about to leave, when suddenly a cold wind blew on his neck, goosebumps appeared all over his body, and then his neck felt cold, and his head turned, and he saw his headless body. Lu Qingyu was kicked out of the 7 treasures space again. His long hair stood upside down, his eyes were red, and he was almost crazy. He rushed into the 7 treasures space again. Puff, puff, puff. Lu Qingyu was proud, he was not convinced, but this 7 treasures space was authoritarian and could not accept it. Lu Qingyu had a violent power, but he had no chance to use it. He was killed countless times without knowing who killed him. Lu Qingyu roared repeatedly. Lu Mingho and others were not much stronger than him. In a few breaths he was sent out dozens of times, and Lu Mingho was also aroused with anger. But he was calmer than Lu Qingyu. He had been thinking about the attack methods of these strong men, And at the same time, he was also thinking about his own shortcomings, constantly changing his fighting methods to adapt to this chaotic group battle. In the Qibao space, their fighting methods seemed so monotonous and childish. Facing those terrifying creatures, they were just slaughtered unilaterally. As the leader of the undead clan, Lu Mingho was not only powerful, but also had strong insight and analytical ability. After only one stick of incense, he gradually mastered a little battle rhythm and could hold on for a breath in the Qibao space. Seeing this scene, Lu Rujiao couldn't help but sigh that Lu Mingho was the real genius, and she couldn't compare at all, and Lu Qingyu was even more of an idiot with no brains at all. Lu Rujiao entered the Qibao space, constantly dodging various attacks, occasionally counterattacking and killing the attackers. Her mission was to protect everyone's growth so that some people would not be hit too hard and give up on themselves. Seeing Lu Mingho growing rapidly, Lu Rujiao's heart was also burning. She knew that there were huge treasures in this sacred tree space, but unfortunately her appetite was too small to eat so much. If Lu Mingho ate more, the immortal race would become stronger. She wished that everyone could squeeze the value of the sacred tree space dry. Great immortal warriors, you must do your best. This opportunity is too rare. Just as the Immortal's Emperor Miao strongmen were desperately attacking the Seven Treasures space, Long Chun was not idle either. He was in the hall. Above the dragon clan, the divine light trembled, the dragon pattern swayed, the divine light wrapped Long Chun, and the sacred breath filled the entire hall. In the hall, on the 8 dragon pillars, dragon patterns flowed, forming golden clouds, and in the clouds, the golden dragon was looming. Long Chun sat cross-legged in the center of the 8 dragon pillars, purple scales covering his whole body, as if he was wearing a dragon scale armor. Each dragon scale was as smooth as a mirror, reflecting the auspicious clouds in the hall, refracting thousands of divine brilliance, rendering the entire hall sacred and magnificent. Outside the hall, Lu Changtian and Lord Shihua looked at the scene in the hall. Lu Changtian's eyes were a little complicated. From the endless auspicious clouds, he seemed to see a beautiful figure that made him miss her. Miss her? Lord Shihua looked at Lu Changtian and said softly. Lu Changtian sighed and pulled his thoughts back. He looked at Lord Shihua with a hint of guilt in his eyes. Shihua, I've wronged you all these years. Why do you say that? Lu Changtian sighed again. He looked at Long Chun, who was sitting cross-legged in the auspicious clouds in the hall and was already in a state of meditation, and said, although this kid is annoying, some of what they say in the human race is very right. Love brings sorrow, and love brings hatred. You love me, but I have another woman in my heart. Your love is great, but I am selfish. This little bastard came and made me reflect on the past, and I found that I did a lot of wrong things. The most outrageous mistake I made was that I didn't love you with all my heart. Having said that, Lu Changtian reached out and gently grabbed Lord Shihua's soft hand. Lady Shihua's whole body trembled. She had never felt such tenderness in her life. Her beautiful eyes suddenly became moist, and tears silently slid down her cheeks. Lord Emperor, I am willing to do anything for you. I don't ask for anything in return. You have never done anything wrong. You don't need to blame yourself. Lord Shihua choked up. Lu Changtian smiled and reached out to gently wipe Lord Shihua's tears. Wrong is wrong. Self-deception will make people look down on you even more. I don't want to be ridiculed by that little bastard of the human race again. He told me a story about his relatives. The story mentioned 2 people, one called the Old Man and the other called Chu Jianying. Damn. After listening to it, I shuddered. What story is so scary? It actually made Lord Emperor shudder. Lord Shihua couldn't help laughing when she heard Lu Changtian swearing. However, she felt that Lu Changtian at this time could give her a sense of reality and intimacy. Let's not talk about a story that makes people feel sad. Long Chun will not be in danger here. Let's go over there to see if the children are lazy. Lu Changtian took Lord Shihua's hand and walked out directly. Lady Shihua smiled like a flower, as if she had returned to her girlhood, and her heart was full of excitement. Before leaving, She secretly took a look inside the hall, and couldn't help but sigh in her heart. What kind of magic did this kid use to make Lu Changtian seem like a different person? Buzz, buzz, buzz. In the hall, Long Chun was bathed in golden auspicious clouds, and dragon patterns flowed onto Long Chen's dragon scales. According to Long Chen's idea, as long as these dragon patterns were introduced into the dragon blood, he could learn the magical powers of the dragon clan. However, Long Chen found that the dragon scales trembled, and these dragon patterns could not enter the blood. Lord Dragon Emperor, what's going on? Long Chen hurriedly asked the Chaos Dragon Emperor. However, this time the Chaos Dragon Emperor did not respond to it. Long Chen couldn't help but secretly startled. Did something happen to the Chaos Dragon Emperor? Don't disturb it for no reason. As your strength increases, unless it contacts you actively, try not to contact it. At this time, the voice of Chen Ding sounded in Long Chen's mind. These are the magical powers of the Yunlong clan. Although your bloodline can activate them, the dragon pillar has not been nourished and its power is almost exhausted. It is impossible for you to directly absorb the dragon symbol to inherit the magical power. Now you can only comprehend it. Comprehend? How difficult is that? Long Chen was shocked. He is not a dragon clan. If he wants to comprehend the magical power of the dragon clan, he must overcome many barriers. There is no other way. Either you take the dragon pillar away and send it to the dragon territory, and then find the descendants of the Yunlong clan and let them sacrifice their bloodline power to restore the totem power of the dragon clan. However, it takes a certain amount of time to restore the totem power, which may take 100 years at the fastest, thousands of years at the slowest, or even longer. The most important thing is that no one can guarantee whether the descendants of the Yunlong clan have survived. Forget it. I'll try to comprehend it. How could Long Chun have so much time to wait? Comprehension is a good thing for you. The Cloud Dragon clan is similar to the White Dragon clan. They both belong to the Ruelong clan and are symbols of auspiciousness. Although their magical powers are powerful, they lack lethality and leave room for improvement. They are not suitable for you. After you have mastered them, you can improve them. With your dragon blood power and combat experience, it is not difficult. If you directly inherit and copy them, the magic talisman will be imprinted in your blood and take shape in an instant, but there is no way to change it. These magical powers will become chicken ribs for you. It is a pity to throw them away. Chen Ding said, "Thank you for your guidance." Long Chun understood immediately after hearing this. After thanking Chen Ding, he no longer forcibly absorbed the dragon talisman on the dragon pillar. He slowly sent the dragon talisman back to the dragon pillar and injected his own dragon blood into one of the dragon pillars. The dragon pillar trembled, and Long Chen's mind was instantly sucked into the dragon pillar. A world appeared inside the dragon pillar. However, before Long Chun could look at this world, endless golden clouds split apart, and a giant claw covering the sky pressed down towards Long Chun. The violent dragon power was suffocating, and Long Chun had no chance to react at all before he was hit by the dragon claw. The moment the dragon claw hit Long Chun, endless golden runes quickly condensed, forming a golden divine seal with a radius of 100 feet, which sealed Long Chun firmly in the divine seal. This move. Long Chun was shocked. Facing this move, Long Chun did not even have a sense of it, and was killed by surprise. When he reacted, he had already been sealed. I understand, this move is similar to my slap magic. It just wants to trap me but not to kill me, so it can't stimulate my sense of danger. Long Chun immediately understood the key. Long Chun activated the power of dragon blood, and his consciousness withdrew from the dragon pillar. When he looked at the dragon pillar again, Long Chun couldn't help but be shocked. The dragon pillar was obviously much dimmer after this in and out. Long Chun then remembered what Chen Ding said, that the power of the dragon pillar was almost exhausted, and it was estimated that it would be useless after a few more times. Long Chen's heart trembled, and he couldn't be careless. He had to learn the essence of the dragon pillar before it was useless. Long Chun concentrated his mind and calmed his breath, and his consciousness entered the dragon pillar Aga. Boom! 3 days later, there was a loud noise in the hall, and the last golden dragon pillar collapsed. Long Chun, who was sitting cross-legged on the ground, slowly opened his eyes. In his eyes, golden lines flickered, like golden auspicious clouds flowing. The whole person was carrying a powerful sacred power, just like a sacred and magnificent statue. 8 cloud dragon styles. At this time, Long Chun had completely comprehended the dragon clan's magical powers recorded in these 8 dragon pillars, and at the same time, he also obtained their names. It turns out that the Cloud Dragon Claw that Lord Dragon Emperor passed on to me actually came from the Cloud Dragon clan. When Long Chun comprehended one of the dragon pillars, he discovered the Cloud Dragon Claw. However, the Cloud Dragon Claw of the Cloud Dragon clan, when it was used, was from bottom to top with gentle power, forming a sealing barrier to trap the enemy in it. The Cloud Dragon Claw that Chaos Dragon Emperor passed on to him was from top to bottom, with violent power, and the purpose was to directly crush the enemy. Not only was there a lot of difference in aura, but even the method of using power was different. Obviously, Chaos Dragon Emperor made changes when he passed this move to Long Chun. At the same time, Long Chun also understood why Chen Qinding had hinted to Long Chun that these moves were not suitable for him. After comprehending, Long Chun discovered that most of the 8 moves of Yunlong 8 styles were to attack instead of defend, leaving room for maneuvers everywhere. Although the moves were powerful and mysterious, their lethality was limited. Long Chun did not like such moves that left room everywhere, but Long Chun did not change it immediately, but sealed the magical powers he had comprehended in his memory. If he met the Yunlong clan in the future, Long Chun could pass the original Yunlong 8 styles to them. After sealing the original Yunlong 8 styles, Long Chun closed his eyes and began to study how to improve it according to his own dragon blood characteristics, shooting habits, power skills, and other aspects. The Yunlong 8 styles were extremely mysterious and were the top magical powers of the Yunlong clan. Otherwise, they would not have been sealed in the Dragon Pillar and entrusted to Lu Chongtian for safekeeping before the Yunlong clan was destroyed. Time passed by bit. Long Chun was completely immersed in the mystery of the 8 styles of Cloud Dragon, and at the same time he was verifying with himself. He wanted to transform the 8 styles of Cloud Dragon into his own moves. In the blink of an eye, half a month passed. Just when Long Chun was comprehending the 8 styles of Cloud Dragon, the 7 treasure space had been killing madly. The strong men of the undead clan, because of their extremely solid foundation and fearlessness of death, madly attacked the last layer of the 7 treasures space. As a result, there were roars in the square. As soon as they were killed, they rushed into the 7th layer of space again. In the 7th layer of space, there was a figure that was invincible. The disciples of the undead clan fell down in groups. This figure was the shadow of the Hades. At the beginning, no one knew how the 7 treasures glazed tree copied it. Every time the shadow of the Hades made a move, even those as strong as Lu Mingho and others were killed in one move, and there was no room for resistance at all. "Don't stop! Use your life to kill him!" Lu Qingyu roared and rushed into the Qibao space again, but a white light flashed in front of him. Before he could see the situation around him clearly, he was killed and exited the space again. No, the human wave tactics are ineffective against him. He can't even block one move. Someone shouted. The key is that those killed creatures are constantly resurrecting, interfering with our battle and unable to form a siege. This level is not something we can resist at all. Let's take it step by step. More than 1,000 Emperor Miao strongmen of the undead clan have completely transformed into masters after more than half a month of killing. After all, their own strength is there, and what they lack is just killing experience. Now, everyone has experienced thousands of deaths, and their will is as strong as a rock. They have broken through 6 layers of space and come to the last layer. However, in the last layer, there is not only the terrifying Hades, but also the peerless strongmen killed by Long Chun, including fierce demons, sword cultivators, and great monsters. At the same time, they also have terrifying magic weapons. These creatures will disappear after being killed, but after an incense stick of time, they will be resurrected on the spot and enter the battle again. If they want to use the human sea tactics to pile up the Hades, they must clear out the astonishing number of fierce demons, and they must clear them out in a very short time. But they found that they couldn't do it at all. But when they thought about it, Long Chun had a 50% chance of winning against that terrifying figure. They were not convinced and said they would kill that figure once. Only in this way can they be proud of themselves, and it is precisely because of this belief that they spent a whole day and night here. It must be said that the vitality of the undead race is too tenacious. If it were other races, let alone a day and a night, they would have collapsed long ago after being killed continuously, and their mental strength would be exhausted in the time of an incense stick. The disciples of the undead clan, relying on their tenacious will, fought for a whole day and night. If Long Chun knew about this, he would be stunned. Damn! I'm so angry! Lu Qingyu was cleared out again. Lying on the ground, roaring, punching the ground hard, he was unwilling. In the end, they failed and everyone couldn't hold on. One by one, they had splitting headaches and were listless. If they continued, they would be beaten to a mental breakdown. This battle was a heavy blow to everyone. Long Chun was able to kill such a terrifying existence, but so many of them worked together and were killed in a mess. It was too embarrassing. Although they no longer dared to be arrogant to Long Chun, their pride made them hope that they could defeat that figure once. At least, they could raise their heads in front of Long Chun in the future. As a result, everyone worked together for a day and a night, but they still failed to defeat that figure. Even Lu Mingho and others couldn't help feeling very discouraged. No, I'm almost dead tired. I've said it before that I can't win, but you guys just don't believe me. Now I'm so tired that I can't even lie down. Not far away, Lu Rujiao was lying on the ground like a dead dog, panting and complaining. Although Lu Rujiao was complaining, she also hoped that everyone could defeat that figure once, at least so that Long Chun would not look down on them. Now, everyone was exhausted. The leaves of the 7 treasures glazed tree were swaying, and the divine light was dancing. I don't know if it was a blessing or a mockery to them. In short, everyone was in a bad mood. Hoo-hoo! At this time, the figures of Lu Ruyan and Chu Yao retreated from the 7 treasures glazed space. They did not participate in the siege of the crowd. They stayed on the 7th floor for a day and a night to practice. When they came out, they saw the miserable situation of the crowd and couldn't help but be speechless. Everything was as expected. Do you believe it this time? Lu Ruyan said speechlessly. I believe it, Lu Mingho said with a wry smile. Lu Ruyan had said at the beginning that the figure could not be killed by human wave tactics, but everyone did not believe it. Now they all believed it. Long Chun has come out of retreat. Everyone gather together. The undead clan has a difficult task for you. At this time, Lu Chongtian's majestic voice reached everyone's ears, and everyone immediately got up from the ground.